Coffee with Keto Simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome. Thank you all so very much for being here. My name is Dustin. This is Sunday Morning Coffee, and we missed last week. For that, I apologize, but not really. We had a lot of things going on last week. Oh, new baby granddaughter, and she's perfect. I just can't. Spent a lot of time so far napping with her, just hanging out. And she's got the longest, tiniest little toes and fingers, and she's a squeaker. She doesn't really cry. She just kind of squeaks. And I don't know. The kids were here last night. All of our kids are in the house right now. Every one of our kids are in the house right now. Even our oldest boy spent the night with his girlfriend last night. They're all here. They're all no. There's a lot of things that we are saying goodbye to. For the people we knew, people we didn't know, people that we truly felt that we knew. Oh. Evelyn's saying I'm glitchy today. Oh my goodness. I should have restarted my internet. I should have restarted everything. My apologies, everybody. I will restart the internet if I have to. I'll go ahead and do that. Just bear with me, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Can you hear me? Can you see me? I hope that this is better. I don't know what's going on if you can't, but let me know. I've got you up live. I have you up on the comments. Everything is better. All right, let's go. Oh my goodness. I love technical difficulties. One of the things that I got for Christmas this year was a new webcam. And I haven't opened it yet because last night I said to Chandra, I said, hey, I know if I pull this out of the box and go to plug it in, it's going to have all kinds of glitches. But I got this. This is the Hollyland Lyra webcam. It's got a little microphone built that goes along with it, a little lav mic that it can clip here, even though I've got this mic right here. But it's good to know that this is a cool little webcam. You can pick them up at on Amazon if you use my link for $159 right now. I'm excited to get it into the rotation, into the live stream setup that we have here. But you all said that you didn't hear necessarily everything that I said. So let me go back and talk about what a year it's been. So again, the thumbnail saying goodbye is not, it is not clickbait because we are saying goodbye. We are saying goodbye to 2025. We're saying goodbye to the bad things of the year. We're saying goodbye to some of the good things of the year. We're making changes. We're saying, we're saying goodbye to people that we lost. The one person that we lost, and I made a post about it. And I know some of you, I know that Sarah and Matt, who work and or have worked in the Disney sphere, knew Adam, met Adam. They were not necessarily fans of his. But Adam the Woo, or he was a YouTuber that I watched. He made traveling content. He made content in the parks. And his passing, he passed on the 22nd of December, just getting back from being in Europe. And I'm guessing that's probably kind of what happened. He was 51 years old, done a lot of traveling, got back, maybe some kind of blood clot or something from being on an airplane for so long. But that means, someone who's 51 and they just suddenly pass it, it makes you think about your own mortality and our bad habits, the things that we do in life that don't push us forward, and how do we look at something, how do we look at the past year and, and we look at so much has changed, some of it's good, some difficult. But we have to have gratitude and we have to take away everything that we knew we had last year. We just had a healthy new grandbaby. Everybody currently right now is in our house. One of our kids and his girlfriend stayed the night last night. Everybody else is in the house. Chandra is off to work for the day, but then she doesn't work again until next week. So we're excited about that. She actually gets to go out with me on New Year's Eve, which is her going out with me anytime is very difficult because most events happen on the weekends and she works almost all of them. So that being said, it's just something nice that we get to go out and be with friends. And, I just want to say that my heart's filled with gratitude for all the accomplishments from 2025. Everything from the healthy new granddaughter, the growth in our family, everyone living with us, which has been a monumental struggle for us in more ways than just room, but our eating habits, just our full lifestyle habits have changed. And I know they're only going to continue to change with a new baby, new responsibilities with the baby. I've been doing the PhD health coach course with Dr. Berry, Neisha, Kim, and Alyssa. And it's truly amazing. And I'm excited for what 2026 has to offer. Hopefully, we're going to work on consistency. We're going to work on, for myself, work on, stacking small goals, getting back to where I used to be. I've let myself fall back into old habits, and that's a thing that happens. And we just have to move forward. And I'm going to make plenty of content, hopefully bore the crap out of you with it, showing you what can be done, what's possible. We have a path. We're not quitting. We are rebuilding together, Chandra and I. Hopefully you'll come along with us. And John Gugahan says that he was never really aware of Adam the Woo, but a few folks that he watches on YouTube put up memorial type videos about losing Adam and have started watching his content. He's a prolific YouTuber. He was doing the daily vlogs, not necessarily the first. I think Casey Neistat really pushed the envelope on that. But he was doing the exploration, going to cool little sites, going and showing you what movie sites look like now. He was a big movie fan, pop culture fan. He would go to roadside attractions. And he was just I didn't even realize how long I'd been watching him. They were talking about a video the other day that was from like 3 years ago, and I felt like I watched it last week. So it's just, I just want to take the time to make sure that we're reflecting on this year, the good, the bad, what we can do better. And I just want you all to know that I'm here for you, with you, in this community, to make sure that we're all successful, not just me. And if you watched the video, the newest interview that I did with Dave Mack, I haven't watched it myself. I went through it, but I don't know. One of the things that I said is I feel that I am fortunate. I am selfish. I feel that I am selfish with this community because I get far more out of this community than I feel that I give back. Because you all are there for me. I'm one person providing one piece. And then I have all of you providing me daily things, each and every one of you. And, just trying to make things, trying to make headway here on this YouTube thing, doing YouTube, trying to make not so much a living, because I don't think for me making a living on YouTube is a thing that's going to be a thing that happens. I have to do things like coaching and working outside of the box. But, we're here and we're doing everything we can to keep YouTube paying for itself. Hopefully that grows a little bit as the new year hits. Hopefully we're getting subscribers, memberships, and all of the things that help the channel grow. It's going to take a lot of dedication from me, especially when our daughter goes back to work. Working in between doing things with the baby. I know Shanda's going to be here, quite a bit. There's still going to be days that she's not here, but I'm going to be taking care of the baby. And so I have to fit this community in, coaching in. The baby takes precedent. And then there's all the things that happen on the out that I take care of already, whether it's housework, whether it's grocery shopping, troubleshooting and, being there for everybody, when their day-to-day lives, and kind of a catch-all person that's just kind of there for everybody in the family. So it's going to be tough for me. It's going to be a challenge, and I've got to find the time and put it all together. Part of my goals for the next year is building a schedule that that allows me to get enough sleep. And it allows me to fit everything in there that I need to fit in as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump into some of these comments. I'm so far behind on the comments. Jerry was here 8 hours ago. Hello, Jerry. Good to see you, my dear. I haven't checked our P.O. box. I don't know if I had checked it the day before. Maybe I went the day after Christmas. I went Friday to the P.O. box and checked it, but I didn't have anything yet. So I didn't go yesterday. I didn't leave the house. But we'll check that tomorrow. But thank you so much. Hooray, I'm planning on being here bright and early. Can't wait to hear about the new granddaughter roof. Oh, yeah, the roof. Well, we got the new roof, and then the day after Christmas, they installed the gutters, so we now have a whole new roof and gutters. We've got the new car. I'll show you some photos of the new car. Not of our car. I haven't really taken photos of it. I haven't had a lot of time to do that, but I will show you everything. You know, I can show you, the photos from like Kia's website and stuff. Jeremiah is here. Good morning, my friend. He was 8 hours ago as well. Truly appreciate you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah's a good friend of mine. He was a bullfrog, but he lives down the street from me, so we need to get together soon, my friend. Sherry says, I'm just now going to bed. Almost 2 o'clock here, so I'm probably going to miss the live, but I'll watch the replay. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Well, thank you, Sherry. Truly appreciate you so very much. 4 hours ago. Good lordy, lordy, lordy. Evelyn. Oh, good morning, Evelyn. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I hope you all had wonderful holidays, but good morning. Hello to Dustin, Jerry, Jeremiah, Sherry. Good morning. And here's Sandy is here. Good morning, Sandy. Good morning from Florida. I'm glad to see you. We've got Rick in the house.
Rick. Let's get dangerous.
There we go. Good morning, Rick, my friend. Cindy is in the house. Good morning, Dustin and everybody. Good morning, Cindy. I'm glad to see you, my dear. Aaron Booby Goats is in the house. YouTube still hasn't fixed that subscriber thing yet. I'm not sure what subscriber thing are you talking about now. Is there something new that I haven't seen yet? They like to make the long screen names for some weird reason. I don't know. Evelyn says that was supposed to be Rick. Andy's here. Good morning, Andy. So very glad to see you. Let me take my first sip of coffee here, ladies and gentlemen. Coffee is delicious. But good morning, Andy. We love you. You and Susan both. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. I hope you guys are relaxing today, not working too hard. John Gugahan, good morning, all. I lost track of time. I need to take a quick shower. We'll rejoin the live in a bit. We will be here. This was 25 minutes ago. I think you're already back, but we'll see. Susan is sleeping. Mom is upstairs listening to church music. That sounds what it sounds like. And then Sean Bradley, our good friend Sean Bradley's in the house. Good morning, Sean. I'm glad to see you, my friend. I hope everything is doing okay for you and your wonderful wife, Shell. You guys had birthdays recently. Happy birthday. I don't know why I thought your birthday was a few months ago, and I said that, and I was like, I don't know. But I guess it's after a while, everything just kind of blends together, and time doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? I mean, I don't know. And he says, Evelyn, Dark Horse Bar and Grill up in Findlay is very good food. Oh, interesting. And he says, we met my cousin up there yesterday from Michigan. They waved to you as they drove by the exit. Jerry says, and a very happy good morning to Jeremiah, Evelyn, Aaron, Cindy, Andy, Sherry, Rick, and never least Dustin. Merry Christmas, regulars. Thank you, Jerry. I'm glad to see your bright, smiley face this morning. It always makes everything so wonderful. Jeff Afa is in the house. Good morning, Jeff. Thank you so much for being here. Brian Dish is in the house. Good morning, Mr. Dish. I hope you're doing wonderful. Good morning, Dustin and everyone. Gonna get in here and see it. Hanging with Jen is here. Good morning, Jen. I hope you're doing well. John Gugahan says, perfect timing. I'm back and didn't miss a thing. And he says, hi, Sean. Those waffles were awesome with eggnog. Keto chow. And Booby Goat says, Merry Christmas, Dustin. Merry Christmas to you, Aaron, and all your children. I saw some of the photos with your older children and stuff. It's just, they're all so cute. Jeff says, cream cheese and butter softening on the counter for an egg loaf. Andy says, hi, Grandpa. Grandpa is such a weird word for me because I've been called Pa for so long, and I don't know. I imagine the new one will call us Paul because I'm sure that the older will make sure that happens. Mia's Girls is here. Good morning, everyone. I'm here listening. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Unsubscribing and resubscribing helped. Okay. Yeah, I know that there's a thing because I set it to 5 minutes subscribe. You have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes to come in the chat. So if you ever do have issues, just unsubscribe and resubscribe, I guess, is what she's saying. But thank you so much. And she says she has some prayer requests. I did put those in the description of the video. If anybody wants to, or she can type those out again so you all can make sure that her prayer requests go out. Because we want to make sure that those are all heard from people, though, who wish to have them. People tell me I'm freezing up. I'm not doing so good. And John says, I feel like it has been so long since I joined you, but it's only been 2 weeks. So much has changed. I've crammed in the last week that I feel it lasted a month. Yeah, I mean, it feels like anytime we go any length of time without having a live, it's just rough for me. I feel bad. Glitchy, freezing up. Well, everybody's asleep, really. So I don't. They're not on the Wi-Fi. I had to reset it, restart on my computer. Everything comes up. Everything's running. Everything's going according to plan. And Andy says, you have a great message and we're only catching half of it. Start over. We'll wait for you. Okay. And I did that, and we'll continue on with the message. Josephine C is in the house all the way from the land down under. Welcome, welcome. So very glad to see you, my dear. Your border is active, but you freeze and drop out. Yeah. Tech issues. Restarted all the stuff. Hopefully it's all still working according to plan. Yeah, so yeah, this week has been well, the last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy. Again, the reason we didn't go live, or I didn't go live on Sunday, is they were installing the roof, and it was so loud for so long. It was like 4 or 5 hours. It would have just been difficult for me to even. It was just, I don't know how I would have been able to keep my thoughts together. It was just like right above me. So. Lewis is in the house. Good morning, Lewis. So very glad to see you. And if I've missed you scrolling through here, yell at me. Let me know that I've missed you. It is not my intention to leave anybody out. Andy says, so I survived my mom being here 6 days. She's still here, probably until after my sister's surgery. Pray that the weather holds so my sister can get home safely after her mastectomy on Wednesday. We will be in our thoughts for sure. We love you guys so very much. Risa's in the house. Good morning, Risa. Andy says it's been a great holiday with lots more babies coming into the family in 2026, even more than my 2. So excited. I love babies. I'm super excited to have our baby downstairs. Well, wherever they are currently in the house. There we go. All is better now. No glitches so far. 2025 was a roller coaster for me for sure. 100%, Sean. And we touched on this for a moment. Yeah, we was never really aware of Adam the Woo. He's got like almost 2,000 videos. So you can, I mean, it's like when you watch somebody and, 35, 45 minutes a day, he's putting out these long, prolific videos of him just walking around wherever he happened to be. A lot of times Florida. He ended up living in Celebration, Florida. He kind of started his videos driving and living in a van, quit his job, and started driving around the country in a van, just living his best life. He was in the band Guttermouth for a while. You know. Shauna is here. She says, I happened to wake up, so I popped in. Good morning. I'm very happy to see you, Shauna, my dear. Karen from Low Carb Spin is in the house. Good morning, Karen. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. Feel like it's been a long time since I've seen your beautiful face in here. But then again, I do go live rather early. Yeah, John says, yeah, he seemed like a really great guy. He was certainly looked up to. I haven't seen a single person say anything bad about him since it's gone. And it's the internet. And I've seen a lot of things on the internet. And typically there's usually some sort of negativity surrounding somebody's passing. Like even on 192 in near where he lived in Celebration, Florida, they put a billboard up with his face and everything. That's pretty incredible. The thing about somebody doing YouTube, doing something similar to what I do, even though I strictly, really kind of stay in the house and talk to you from here, from my room, my little office. But I feel like I share my life with you, and I tell you, I tell you things that I may not ever tell anybody else. Not that people who watch can't figure that out, obviously, but, we build a relationship, even if you've never met me. And that's kind of how I felt about him. I never met him. I wanted to hopefully meet him in the parks one day, or if he came through town, because he would travel and go to all kinds of places. So, there we go. Lisa's in the house. Good morning, Lisa. So very glad to see you. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, my dear. And Andy says, I'm revamping my entire budgeting system. I'm so excited about it. Cutting out things we don't need anymore. Love the new year changes and seeing new things happening. Oh, 100%. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for streamlining things, making things easier. Hopefully we can do that. Hopefully we can be successful. Hopefully Shannon and I can get back on track and be where we know we want to be. Marisa says, I had to get my coffee and electrolytes. Hi, Sean and everybody. Sean, Aaron, and a lot of people. Wonderful news. You got a new roof. Congrats. The new grandbaby. Exciting. Yeah. It's a wonderful time. It's just tiring. But I've been lucky and fortunate enough to get some naps, some sleep. All the wonderful things. Barb is here. Good morning, Barb. So very glad to see you, my dear. Andy says that Susan is off work until January the 5th. That is amazing. I think, let me look at our calendar here. I believe Chandra doesn't go back to work until the 2nd, maybe the 3rd. She has to go back for sure by the 3rd. So let's see, the baby was born on the 19th. So Chandra didn't work. She worked the 14th and was off the 15th through the 25th. So she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days off. Then she had worked Christmas, had off the 26th, 27th, works today. Then she's off 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 days more. So all the time. I've been letting her hold the baby, her spend time with the baby, obviously letting our granddaughter hold the baby more than me because she needs it to feel connected and a part of everything. Jerry says, FYI today, Low Carb Spin Karen is dropping a brand new video. I'm so excited. Well, that sounds amazing. I can't wait to see it. Sunny Chronicles is in the house. Good morning, Sunny. Sunny, 12 months of membership. I can't thank you enough for being a member of my channel for 12 months. That's truly amazing. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that more than words can express. Yeah, Sonny says it doesn't seem like it's been a year already. That's crazy to think that it's been a year. Lisa says Christmas was spent all alone. I'm so very sorry, Lisa. We love you. We love you very much. And Karen says, just love the picture of me holding the baby. I had to pick that one out because you couldn't see her face. Brenda Foley is in the house. Good morning, Brenda. So very glad to see you, my dear. Evelyn says, eggnog keto chow is by far the best flavor. Got to stock up, though, the holidays so it lasts all year. Woo! Maybe they'll come out with the big bags. There we go. There's Rick from Twin Brook Acres. Good morning, Rick. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And everybody's saying hello to everybody. Jerry says, okay, I have to move into listening mode because my dogs need to go potty and then eat. So carry on, folks. I hear you all. Let's go. Let's go. Evelyn says, my peppermint fudge was a hit on Christmas Day. Added a layer of milk chocolate to the top. Yummy. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Brenda is off work having eggnog bites and bacon. Happy family. Well, happy holidays, Brenda. So glad that you are here with us. Christian Delorme is in the house. Happy bonjour, everybody, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Christian Delorme, all the way from Canada. Thomas, Mr. Target Prime Rib, is in the house. Hello, my friend. How are you doing today? Karen says, it's a very short video, Cindy. Everyone should have time to watch the whole thing. Shauna says, good morning, Dustin. Feeling like I got up in the middle of the night for this. Going back to bed soon. Well, we love you, Shauna. Love you very, very much. Aaron says, I fixed the member issue, Thomas. Thanks for letting me know. I copy and paste older descriptions. Bride's Biscuit is in the house. Sup, fam? Good morning. Glad to see you, Biscuit. Christian Delorme for a Canadian $5. Here's my late Christmas gift, a shot of low-fat eggnog with a double shot of rum. Happy New Year's, Dustin. Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you so very much for the kind things. You're always here to give us things and be generous. I appreciate you very much. Woo! Reese is excited for the new low-carb spin video you guys took. A long break from videos like I did. Trevor and I recorded a new one, but haven't edited it yet. I can't wait to see all these videos. Trying to post videos to Facebook. Anyway. Oh. Cindy says to Lisa, our Christmas was just me and Brian. I get it. I was missing the kids and grands for sure. Yeah. We were busy. Busy, busy. Carl's on his way to the airport to pick up his dad. Well, good luck, my friend. I'm glad that you're listening. I'm glad I can keep you company on a drive to the airport. The Cincinnati airport, the Columbus airport. I've not been to either one of those airports. Lisa said at Christmas and the day after off, I spent the majority of the day cooking and cleaning along the way for my son and I, Risa, so I kept me busy and, well, that's good. Well, we love you so much, dear. Yeah, only 18 thumbs up. Hit those thumbs up. The Pharaoh grandma's in the house. Good morning, dear. The Columbus Airport. I've been out near the Columbus Airport. I've been to the Columbus like train depot where they put the trains together. I don't know how close that is to the airport, but that's where I've been. I'm going to take a moment here. I'm going to show you like the new car that we got. Let's see if I can find photos. All right, let's see how well this comes across. But while I'm doing that, oh my goodness, Sean Bradley. Sean, for $20. I can't believe it. Thank you so very much, Sean. Merry Christmas to you and yours, Dustin. Congrats on the new grandbaby. Thank you so much. Again, thank you, Sean, for your donation. You did send us a baby monitor. We're super excited for that. And I want to say somebody else donated something. Let me look that up because I know they sent money to the diaper fund on Amazon. I'm always a little difficult trying to figure out what I'm looking for here. Amazon makes it a little difficult. Let's see. Someone contributed an item to the registry. Let's see. There's been, so there's been, so I want to say thank you to Brenda for the contribution to the diaper fund, Jeremiah, contribution to the diaper fund, and Jeremiah for sending us some baby pacifiers. You're amazing, Jeremiah. Truly, truly, truly. Thank you so very much, my friend. I truly appreciate that. That's so wonderful. Thank you all so very much. Merry Christmas, everyone. Look at that. There's Booby Goats. Merry Christmas. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me something, something, something. Probably had to do with goats. Cindy, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Brian and myself. $10. Thank you so very much, Cindy. We love you so very much. Brian Doyle, good morning from the hospital. I am fine, but they are chasing a ghost with my heart. Been here. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no. Brian says we've been there since Friday. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. So keep us posted on everything going on. Record with your phone. Post it with your phone. Let us know little things. Keep us posted on your YouTube channel. They don't have to be edited or anything like that. And I mean, you can edit with your phone. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. Just keep us posted, my dear friend. And let me know what's going on. Thank you, Brenda. She said, I was happy when I found the diaper button. Well, I appreciate that so very much. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Thank you so very much. The fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 pounds of back bacon. Some fat back. Oh, my goodness. Rick from Twin Brook Acres, $20. Thank you so very much. Thank you all. You're so very generous. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and congratulations on the new grandchild. Thank you so very much. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you all so very much. Let's go ahead and I'll show you a little bit if I can find what this car looks like here. There we go. So if you can see, let's see if this will click on this. So this is kind of what the color of our interior looks like. Let me know if you can see that. It's that black with that burnt orange interior. Now our seats in the front don't look like this. We've got the captain's chairs that recline. And we did get some, we got some car seat cover things to go over the seats because the car seats are going to go here. Again, we don't have the middle seat. We have the captain's chairs. Because when we were looking at this, let's see. When we were looking at this, these grooves down here in the bottom of the floor are so deep that when there's 3 seats, that I could just imagine there being pencils and crayons and all the things in there. It was crazy. But yeah, this is the color of our, and I haven't been in the back seat to see if that's what it looks like or not. Hopefully it's better than that. But yeah, we've got all the, all the stuff in here. All the room to do all the things. Let's see. Yeah, so this is kind of what ours would look like right here. I don't know why. I don't know why, because there's going to be car seats there. So I don't know why it matters. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, that's the color of the interior. Rick says he's taking an engine apart. Sounds about right. Rick says, I gave myself a Christmas present, had pancakes with my own maple syrup. Never get to eat my own syrup. That sounds amazing. I don't know if I'm sure I've had fresh maple syrup, but I don't really know for sure. Shauna staying awake as long as she could. See y'all later, heading back to bed now. Well, we love you, Shauna. Get plenty of rest. Evelyn, Merry Christmas. See you next year. I cannot wait to see your beautiful face, Evelyn. 1999 Super Chat. Thank you so very much. Truly, truly appreciate all of your generosity and kindness. All of you. Oh, my goodness. So when we were looking at this, so when we went to get the lease, like, they showed us the bottom trim. They brought out like the lowest trim they had on the lot or whatever. And then they showed us the top trim, the black one that we bought with that burnt orange interior. We drove that one. We liked it. Had a heated steering wheel. Chandra's always wanted a heated steering wheel. And so we went ahead, and then they showed us a middle trim, but then it didn't have the bucket, didn't have the 2 captain's chairs with, like, and again, like, realistically, like, the difference between the middle tier and the top tier was like $50 a month. And that wasn't like, and just the idea of having all that stuff. I mean, they were deep stuff in between, like oh man, crazy. It'd have been full of colored pencils and crayons, and that'd have been impossible. It'd be like playing Operation trying to clean it out. John Gugahan has to go to church. Well, we love you, my friend. We will see you soon. Have a safe trip to church. Rick says, did you see Amy make my heart attack burger? I saw some of the live, I think, but we had a house full of people, and I've been very busy, all like with just people in the house nonstop. So I haven't got a chance to watch many lives. I stop into lives and say hello, and then I'll just usually, if I'm in my office, I'll just let them play, and I go back downstairs again. Oh. Brenda says, mother made homemade syrup with brown sugar. She homemade everything. Mayonnaise, ketchup, barbecue sauce. Parents owned restaurants. Oh, that's amazing. Rise Biscuit says, hopefully in 42 years, I too will feel pancakes are disgusting. I think pancakes are delicious. I know Rick is Rick, and Rick's going to say the Rickisms, and Rick thinks pizza's disgusting and pancakes are disgusting, and that's just not his thing. But like, I don't know if I'm never going to get to the point where I think foods are disgusting that I like, that I grew up with, that I like. I don't think. And I know there's a lot of creators out there, a lot of people that are personalities that are on there. They're saying, well, I don't even like this anymore. Like, I still like it. I can deal without it. And I'm usually okay without most things. Doesn't mean I think they're gross anymore. And I'm not going to lie to myself thinking that I do. A little bit thirsty. But I'm just never going to be that person. Like, I'm not going to be, whatever it is. I'm just not going to be that person. That's food, though. Like, I love food. I've always loved food. I'm a food addict. I have addictive personality when it comes to food, whether it's flavor, texture, whatever. I'm addicted. I'm never going to be like, nope, that's gross. That's how you know I'm a pod person. Terry Girl's in the house. Good morning, Terry. So very glad to see you, my dear. I hope everything is well with you. Rick says, who is next to take the heart attack challenge? What is the heart attack? Just cooking meat in lard? I do that all the time. I do that almost every time I cook meat. So, I mean, I've even got the, what I call Butter Bob's chicken on my channel, which is what you would call heart attack chicken. The one thing I still get comments on that video, where I make the chicken in the lard, that people are like, you didn't wash your chicken? And I'm like, what's water going to wash off that boiling oil isn't? Brick says iguana is better than any duck food. I'll just have to take your word for it there. We will all be saying Happy New Year soon. Yeah, 100%. All right, Erin's got to jump. She's got to go shopping. She's got mouths to feed. And they're probably all very, very hungry. Sean saying goodbye. And Evelyn saying good morning to Terry. Brian says, arterial flutter Friday, and now they think I had another heart attack, but I don't believe them. What information are they providing that would make them come to the conclusion you had a heart attack? And what about that information is something that you don't necessarily trust? I'm very curious about that. Rick says, make a heart attack burger and eat it. What is that, just cooking a burger in lard? I have lard on the stove. I have lard. I have tallow. I have whatever. I like cooking. I like cooking burgers in butter too. A butter burger. Ba-boo-doo-boo-doo. Ba-doo-doo-doo-doo. Biscuit says, I crave pancakes here and there, but I never give in to them. I have before, sometimes but for me, when it comes to pancakes, it's not the entirety of the pancake. What I want is like that gooey, ridiculously buttery center, where the butter's melted all the way through the center of the pancake, and it's almost like battery consistency with some syrup on it, where it's almost like you're taking one bite of pancake and getting like a tablespoon of butter and syrup. That's what I want. I want the whole pancake to be that. Rick says, speaking of food, I'm going to get a breakfast at my friend's diner. Have a good day. Well, thank you so much, Rick. Be safe. Enjoy the time with your friend. Enjoy the time at the diner. Enjoy yourself today. Thank you so very much again for the super chat. Thank you. Thank you again so very much. Rick says, I saw and commented on Dustin's old heart attack chicken video. We make that all the time. I mean, one, because chicken thighs are $1. I mean, even right now they're overpriced at $1.77 a pound, but $1.77 a pound is ridiculously cheap compared to anything else right now. So we'll probably be eating some of that this week. I'll probably go to the store later today and get some heart attack chicken. And Brenda says, I think saying it's nasty is good. Fake it till you make it. How I stopped smoking years ago, saying I don't smoke instead of I trying to quit. I just stopped so for me, like I have to, like my body has to be ready. My mind has to be ready. For me, like I just ran out of cigarettes on a Thursday. I had my last cigarette on a Thursday and I never bought another pack. I never bought another cigarette. And yeah, it's just never did. Yeah, I mean, Karen's not wrong here. She says, I love food, but if you go long enough without processed food and have some, your palate can taste the chemicals. Yeah, I mean, things are never as good as you want them to be. They're never as good as you remember. They're never as good as you want them to be. Mia says, I'm going to be leaving a bit to San Antonio. Congratulations on your new grandbaby, car, and roof. The prayers are for my niece. Her name is Catalina, but we call her Cat. Again, please make sure that if you are the praying type, keep her in your thoughts, your prayers. Just send the good mojo, the good juju. Send anything and everything you have. Because we all need a little bit of love. And we all need a little thought. And we need all of the things. We need to know that people are out there thinking about us and spreading the love. And thank you all so much. Tropono? Okay. I think I know what that is. Biscuit says, I don't do knockoff foods as I know they will trigger me even if they don't hurt me physically. I've stopped kind of doing those a little bit because they're usually a lot more work involved to make the knockoff things. And I think I would rather just have the real thing if I'm going to put the work in for it. With the exception of maybe some of Chris's mashed potatoes, Chris cooking Nashville's mashed potatoes, those kinds of things. Those are worth it to me. I think they taste so good. And that way they're kind of like a thing I can eat and they're guilt-free. No guilt. And Rick says, you have to see the heart attack burger video. I'll have to go look it up. If anybody knows it, if anybody has it, put it in the chat for all to see so Rick can get some extra views. Oh yeah. Oh, and Cindy, thank you again for the gifts for the baby, for our granddaughter, and for Chandra and I. Thank you so very much. I don't have them here to show off, but she sent me some Buc-ee's measuring spoons. So like little Buc-ee's that are for measuring spoons. And I want to submit a special thanks out as well to our friends at Pork and Good Pork Rinds. Pork and Good Pork Rinds, I'm an affiliate with them. They are a member of the channel. As last I looked, they've been a member for a long time. And they also sent me a care package this Christmas, a big box. They sent it like wrapped and everything. It was beautiful. With Pork and Good Pork Rind wrapping paper. It was like a fanny pack and there were stickers inside and some earrings. It was just super cute, super cool with some with some pork rind crumbs, and they've got some dill pickle pork rinds. Their new strawberry shortcake pork rinds. So I always want to say thank you to them as well. Yeah, Biscuit says, yeah, Dustin, I want the syrup mixed with butter. Yeah, 100%. And Mia says, the second prayer request is from my brother-in-law, Xavier, and my niece and nephew. Again, all the love, all the love. And Brian says, the troponin levels elevated, but nothing else. Been held hostage in hospital since Friday. Well, I would say it's better safe to be in the hospital than sorry. I mean, I'm coming from I live with an ICU nurse. You know, it's always better to get seen and kind of figure things out than ignore it and have things not go the right way. Josephine is off to bed. Enjoy your beautiful day and night, all. Well, Josephine, thank you ever so much, dear, for being here. We truly appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful night's rest, my dear. Biscuit says, I don't crave pasta, potatoes, or rice. I don't really crave those things either too often, really. I mean, rice doesn't bother me because we'll go for sushi from time to time, and the rice and the sushi doesn't bother us. Doesn't really trigger us either, I guess. And Charger Rick says, chicken is 29 cents a pound at Sedano's. I don't know what that is. Probably a place that I don't have. You're very welcome, Mia. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, my dear. Evelyn says, I was going to go off plan for Thanksgiving, but my husband and father-in-law stuck to it mostly, and I ordered last. It encouraged me to stick to the plan. I stayed keto. Well, fantastic. I love that. Yeah, Jerry says, how many people do not wash their chicken? I was taught that washing your chicken and all that splashing that takes place can only spread more harm. Yeah, well, the only reason I don't mind, sometimes I will rinse chicken thighs, and sometimes when they're cutting, there's little bone fragments kind of stuck in there, so I'll usually sometimes maybe rinse those off and see if I get any bone fragments out. But, I mean, other than that, I don't rinse it to clean it. I usually just rinse to get, like, bone fragments off of things because they're just kind of cutting those all quick, and I don't want to chew bone fragments, you know what I mean? So that would be, you know. Yeah, Biscuit said that's so true. When I taste processed foods here and there, the first thing I taste are the chemicals. Then how underwhelming the whole thing is easy to stop at one bite. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Terry says, I still wash my chicken. Cindy says, I made Chris Cook in Nashville mashed potatoes the other day. I may make his pancakes today with leftover mashed. Going to try patties and butter. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, and Biscuit says, nice to indulge in guilt-free treats here and there. The thing is for me, the problem is just seeing it everywhere, seeing it at our house all the time. It's like, I want better things. I love eating meat, eggs, bacon, but when I look in, then there's things that are looking me in the face all the time. And the problem is like at night when I'm like bored, like when you're going to watch some TV, your Shin and I will sit down and watch some TV together sometimes.
It's probably end up doing that a lot more with the baby, depending on how our schedules work out. I'm going to have to be a real stickler with my schedule coming up, or I won't get anything done. But yeah, crazy stuff. But just wanted to watch. Like, we watched the new Tom Segura comedy special. It was pretty funny. The other night, I watched the new comedy special by Dave Chappelle. So I watched the new Knives Out movie, whatever, Wake Up Dead Man or whatever it's called. That movie was long. That movie was so long. That movie was so very long. Jerry says, the remembrance of chocolate was delightful. When I was little, now not so much. You definitely taste chemicals and wax. What chocolate are you buying? Biscuit said, kidney stones make it a heck of a lot easier to give up chocolate. I don't know. I mean, how much oxalates are actually in chocolate? I'm just curious. Is it in other things? Are you more likely to get kidney stones from drinking Diet Coke? I don't know. Jerry says, perhaps I'm a bit too extreme like Rick because I was so very sick, and for me, just one taste of anything, I can trigger myself into eating more and more. Hence, I will be back up to the same. Yeah. But I mean, it's a very personal thing. And if that's what it takes for you to stay where you want to be, then I support it 100%. And Mr. Biscuit says, rice doesn't bother me. Used to like it at Chinese takeout. Now the smell of seed oils nauseates me. Yeah, I get that. So we had Chinese takeout like 2 times over Christmas. Ridiculous. Jerry says, I know you were going to make it for Thanksgiving, but have you never made crisp and naturals mashed fruit? I have not made them yet. I still have everything in the fridge to make them, and I'm hopefully going to make them the next couple of days. I've just been stressed out. And when I'm stressed out, cooking isn't something that I want to do. If the kitchen's a disaster and I have to move, not to try to get into all that, but when the kitchen is a disaster and the kids are trying to cook stuff too, it just doesn't lend to me wanting to cook anything, which is irritating. And Risa says, I never wash my chicken. Salmonella can fly everywhere. If it exists, take my chances. I figure that there's anything in it that's going to cook high temp. Never gotten sick from it. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I feel like what's like room temperature water going to wash off that boiling oil isn't? Yeah, and Terry says, I rinse pork chops because of bone fragments too. Yeah, that's the only reason I see to rinse meat is like for bone fragments. If you know what I mean, sometimes you pick them up, you can just feel them. You'll know they're there. Risa says, I haven't made Chris Cookin' Nashville's mashed potatoes. Long process, and I have made them, and they freeze well. I used to make potato part and freeze it for later. They're really good. Yeah, I was going to make his 2.0 version. That's what I was going to make. And Biscuit says, I have 3 daughters who eat a standard American diet here, Dustin. Plus, they bake almost nightly. It's harder for me, but I still walk the line. And I did it for so very long, too. That's what frustrates me the most is, like, I did it for so long, and then I just kind of I almost feel like I gave up, but I didn't give up. It's just, I think sometimes I think you just kind of feel mentally defeated. Maybe that's giving up. I don't know, but I refuse to give up all the way. I'm still going to fight. I might lose a lot, but I'm going to continue to fight. Biscuit says, when you've had kidney stones for a year, oxalates become an alcoholic's alcohol, no amount of safe. Yeah, I remember I went in and I was having issues with kidney stones, and they went in and did an MRI, because they went and did an ultrasound, then they did an MRI, and there's like how many kidney stones are in my kidneys. So I don't know what I consume now that may be oxalates, but I don't have on a normal basis. I'm not eating a lot of vegetables. I mean, I'm drinking coffee, but I don't know how much oxalates in actual coffee. Let me look this up. Let's see. Some studies suggest instant coffee can have more oxalates. Oh, that's cool. It says espresso has oxalates, but usually not enough to be a major concern unless you have kidney stone issues or high oxalate ingredients like chocolate, according to Sally K. Norton. So Sally Norton, the National Kidney Foundation article. So that's interesting. And Risa says that the last few weeks at work have been way too stressful, so I decided to just eat what I want, limited amounts, and not feel bad. I have to say that I'm not feeling well the day after Christmas. Yeah, I mean, there were some days this week, like going to bed, I felt awful. Getting up, you feel awful. And it's a driving factor to want to be better, is when those foods make you feel like crap. Sorry, I muted myself. So one thing that I have, so it says, Andy Carnivore says, good morning, I cheated. I've been making up with a 30-day sardine fast starting 1/1/26. So my question for everybody is this considered punishment? Are we punishing ourselves when we do these types of fasts? Where, like, you cheat, you're off plan. And then you say, okay, I need to get back on track. So I'm going to do a 30-day sardine fast. where maybe a 3-day or a 5-day sardine fast might be something that might be more appropriate. And I'm not trying to make you second guess yourself. And I'm just asking as a general thing, because I see this happen a lot, especially when people have issues where I messed up, so I'm going to fast. I'm going to do a 7-day, 14-day, 21-day fast because I've been doing this, that, or the other. So I'm just curious, what's everyone's thoughts on that? Because I kind of see that it seems like 30-day fast, that seems like, especially a 30-day sardine fast, one that can get very expensive. But is that going to be something that is maybe, I don't know, I mean, I could probably do that. I can just do a sardine, I could do like a sardine and egg fast for a month. But would it be sustainable for me? I'm just curious. To me, like a 72-hour, 3-day, 72-hour fast. These are things that I'm kind of questioning, Biscuit says, I watch lives every day. The support is invaluable in my journey. Thank you all. Much love. Well, thank you. And I mean, that's the thing, is that's what we're here for. That's what this community is built on. Cindy says, I get that. Yeah, so she's responding to Bride's Biscuit. I started more than 5 years ago. I was the only one in the house of 7 people eating this way. I did all the cooking. That just was, what I know best for me. Yeah, 100%. Jerry says Hershey's, Nestle, Mars, all the major companies. I know that as cocoa prices rise, there are less and less cocoa in their chocolate. I don't even think they can even call it milk chocolate anymore. But Jeff says I have not been on track this week, and some joints are aching. Yeah, I can usually tell by my fingers, my knuckles and fingers. Biscuit says, I'm just over 1 year into carnivore, but I healed so much over that time that after failing 2 years on keto. Yeah. The Biscuit says coffee is low oxalate, much lower than tea, which I gave up. Lisa's back cooking. And Biscuit says, I do all the cooking here too, Cindy, which means I still prepare all the sad foods for them. I just don't eat them. I made my daughter a birthday cake this week. Jerry says, I'm just like you when it comes to the laundry and the dryer. If it's hot, it's not crushed. Get her done. I would just so much stuff going on. Oh my goodness. Always so much laundry. I don't know how Shanda wears so much clothes. I do like a load every 2 weeks, and I'd have to do like 2 loads a day almost for her to keep up. I don't understand how she wears so much clothes. Lexi's in the house. Good morning, Lexi. How are you? How are your holidays? She says, I called in to work because of the blizzard starting today, and now she's mad. Well, I mean, it's a blizzard. Stay home. Be safe. Sean says, question for all those out there. Which would you choose? Carnivore, you feel better, but you have more weight gain. Keto, you don't feel as good, but you have better weight loss. My question is, what are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to accomplish overall health, or are you trying to accomplish weight loss? And that's one thing that I am going to try to focus on this year, 2026, is focusing on weight loss, the wrong metric. Now, I understand there's going to be a lot of people who are going to come to me because my plans when it comes to coaching is going to be those people, 300, 400, 500 pounds who feel like they've just lost. But my thing is weight loss will come. If you're that weight and you make meaningful changes in incremental steps, the weight will come off. If you have made changes with your diet, if you've made changes and you move just a little bit more and you are getting better sleep, say, especially if you're somebody in that weight range, you probably should have some kind of CPAP. You probably should be wearing some sleep device to help you sleep better at night, to get more meaningful rest. How do we make more and impactful, meaningful changes in our lives without doing and going overboard on things like only focusing on the number on the scale? That's one thing that worries me the most when it comes to this community or any community, is weight loss seems to take precedent over everything else. I understand that a lot of people will come here for weight loss. Weight loss gets people in the door, but I want to know, if we go back to making the proper decisions, if we don't necessarily focus on the weight, if we don't, and we just focus on slow, deliberate, impactful, meaningful changes in our day-to-day life, one choice at a time, will the weight still come off when it needs to? But we'll also be, manufacturing or creating meaningful change, better habits, long-term habits that our bodies and that our lifestyles will, we can create lifestyles that stick with us, because that's just who we are at that point. Because I kind of feel like if we look at weight loss as the beginning, the end, the alpha, the omega, then when we get that goal, or if we don't see the weight loss, are we in panic mode because I didn't lose? I only lost 0.4 pounds this week. I didn't do something right, so I'm giving up. These are questions that I have. And I just kind of, this is a perfect question out here. Sean, what's better? Well, I don't necessarily know which one's better for you. My question is, which one would you choose? Which one's easier for you to find meaningful, impactful, intentional change with for yourself? Carnivore or keto? Which one's going to be a sustainable, long-term lifestyle change for you? Because I imagine that most of the time, if we are doing things like carnivore or keto, it's not necessarily the fact that it's keto that's causing you to gain weight. There's probably other factors involved. But these are just questions that I have. Yeah, Lexi says her boss is mad. We'll just let her be mad. I was muted. I am sorry. I am muted. Hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? All right. Lisa says, yes, ma'am, I got to do the rest of my laundry later today, but I'm almost time to get ready for church, so I'll finish it up later. People saying I lost sound. I know because I forgot to unmute myself when I sneezed and was trying to cough and yawn. Cindy says exactly what I did for cooking. Whatever protein I wanted was it. If I wanted a veg, I made that, and then whatever else they wanted, just did not eat that. Yeah. It would be so much simpler if our kids would just be like understanding that they're spending all this money and they're making all these foods and then they're putting it in the fridge as leftovers, and the leftovers just sit. Then I have to throw them out. But if they would just pick a meat and pick a veg and be done with it, just a meat and a veg, but they want to make pasta and spaghetti and they just want to do all these things that drive me up a wall. Because they have this, I'm not going keto, it's too expensive. It's going to cost me my life. And Brenda says, I pray there's a happy medium. I think just figuring out what's best for each individual person. Where do you get the most benefit? And I'm not talking about weight loss. So I don't think weight loss and weight gain is truly the most impactful piece of the puzzle here. And Biscuits saying what I was thinking, that some solitary confinement level penance. And Andy's saying it's a reset. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world, Andy, on this reset. I would like to see if you're making content, let us know. I want to see your updates and see how you're doing, because I can't say that I wouldn't want to do a carnivore, like I'd have to try to figure out how do you get enough protein? How do you get enough protein a day? Let's see. So let's take a look. So let me see if I can find. I'm trying to see if I can find. I don't need a warranty. Let's see. What are these? Let's look and see if we can find. All right. So 1 can is a serving. So you're looking at 200 calories, 12 grams of fat, sodium 340 milligrams, total carbohydrates 0, dietary fiber 0, sugar 0, protein 22 grams. So if you're trying to do like, say, even 100, say you want to do 100 grams of protein, you need at least 4 cans a day with if you're adding eggs. If not, you're looking at 5 cans a day. So 5 cans a day, you're looking at 1,000 calories. So I'm curious, what is your breakdown on this going to be, Andy? I'm curious. 1,000 calories, that'll be, like a little over 100 grams of protein. Shelly King is in the house. Good morning, dear. How are you? Jerry says, listen, I have been without food for 27 days, and I am really looking forward to eating sardines and mackerels warmed up with hot sauce, dipping them in butter. So good, so good. And Holly Springer says, good morning. Good morning, Holly. So glad to see you, my dear. And Sean says, Brent, that's a great answer. I find myself doing mostly carnivore more for health benefits, but I miss all the keto stuff. So I add those things in from time to time. I think really just how do you maintain the lifestyle that you choose to live? And Evelyn says, good morning, Lexi. Sorry you're in a blizzard. Hope you come through it safely. 100%. I would much rather you miss work, Lexi, and be safe than try to go out into something and then something bad happen, because you can always go to work the next day. You can't come back from not making it home from a blizzard. Brenda says, with my granddaughter here every other weekend, I have been cooking all the keto recipes. She has enjoyed everything except chaffles for a bun. So I made bread and buns. She likes them toasted. Have you tried my chaffles? I'm just curious, Brenda. Have you tried my 3-ingredient chaffles? I wonder if she'd like those, because our granddaughter likes those as buns. And Risa says, I decided I am not starting a challenge or anything on 1-1. I said I push it until 2:15 so that way I have a chance to get rid of all the crap in the house and make healthy snacks for the first time. I love it. And Brenda says we are loving the gummy bites. And then Lisa's asking about gummy bites, ? And Jeff says a sardine fast would be a punishment for me. I try to give myself grace and move on. Cass is here. Good morning, Cass. How are you, my dear? How are you? I hope you're doing well. And Biscuit says I do 1 to 2 loads of laundry a day. It's just, I mean, now there's 8 people in the house, one of which is an infant. It's just never ending. And the problem is, the problem is they overpack the dryer. They'll do like a gigantic load of hoodies and towels and all these things and jeans all in one load. Then they overpack the dryer, and then it takes like 4 or 5 cycles of the dryer to dry everything. Instead of cutting it in half or maybe a third, and then it might dry in 1 cycle. It's just the inefficiencies drive me insane. Shelly says, I've been off the last 2 to 3 weeks. Traveling and holidays got me this year. Tomorrow I have to start a 2-week pre-op liver shrinking diet, which will put my body back into ketosis. It's strict. Oh, my goodness. Jerry says, definitely no punishment for me. My fast is annual and my fast is religious first and foremost. Thank you. Yeah, I understand. And I understand what you're going through, but a lot of times I think people do fasting as a punishment to themselves for like, oh, I went off the rails on, this for my birthday. So now I'm going to do a 14-day fast to get, and it is almost like a punishment, but not everybody. And nothing I say, there's no such thing as absolutes. And Andy says that his clothes are getting tight, so it's a weight loss thing. Shelley says, not having bariatric surgery. I'm having an incarcerated hiatal hernia revision on January 12th. I'm so nervous. I'll be off work for 12 weeks. Oh, my goodness. I had an umbilical hernia in 2016, and I was off for 2 whole weeks. It wasn't necessarily, it was kind of incarcerated, but it was just like the belly fat. Biscuit says, weight loss only happened for me after I focused on healing and changed my relationship with food. It took decades of yo-yo dieting to understand what the path is. And once we feel, I mean, it almost feels easy, but till it's not. Jerry says, last year, I had the leg vein surgery, then I had back surgery, then I had 2 colonoscopies. So last year, 40-day fast removed a lot of junk from my body. I bet it did. I wish there was a test you could do before a 40-day fast, like go in and have all kinds of like things run to see how things are in your body. Like if they could see like how whatever all the things was and then do it after. I know there's no tests for that, but I just wish there was a way to do it to see like how impactful fasting for 40 days truly is in our bodies. Like, is there a way to get rid of, like, when you're fasting for 40 days, how much microplastics does your body get rid of? How many of the forever chemicals does the body get rid of? I'm just curious. Risa says that they're going back to a stricter low-carb eating by mid-February. I give myself a month or so to get rid of the house of all the bad stuff. Give my family that time to eat everything. And Jerry says, this year's 40-day fast was imperative because of my hip surgery. One more colonoscopy and the effects of root canals and mouth infections. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, for sure, Shelly. We're keeping you in our thoughts. We love you so very much. Keep us posted on everything. When your surgery's done, let us know. Let us know. Come in and say hi. Carnivore. Now, Carl says that carnivore is a subset of keto because it prompts ketosis. Even carnivore animals eat plants as needed for health and wellness. The thing is, I don't think there's any 100% carnivores out there. I'm going to do a quick search for that. Let's see. So we know that cats, like felines, tigers, lions, house cats, along with many marine predators like sharks, orcas, seals, dolphins, some birds like eagles, plus reptiles such as crocodiles and most snakes. They're called obligate carnivores. Like, so you got cats, marine mammals, bears, polar bears, but regular bears like black bears and grizzly bears are not. But I imagine polar bears are, probably because of where they live. Weasels, otters, badgers. So birds like raptors, eagles, hawks, owls, penguins also. I imagine penguins because of where they live. Crocodiles, snakes. Most species are obligate carnivores, so not all snakes. Lizards and frogs, many species in this group also fit to obligate carnivore category. Fish and invertebrate sharks such as great white, squid, and many other marine animals, invertebrates. Yeah. Brenda says, I have a CGM. I've explored many foods, and I can't eat. Peanut butter is one. Wild chips more recently. I think there is more than chicken in those chips. Yeah, there's definitely starch holding them together. I have some in my pantry. I probably need to get rid of those, eat them, and finish them off. Biscuit says, I threw out way more of their sad leftovers than I eat on carnivore. Yeah. Cass is asking Jerry how her hip is feeling, and she says, great, thanks for asking. Karen says, I enjoy being more carnivore because it's a much more satisfying and helps me stay on plan. One thing for sure, I will never go back to standard American diet. Evelyn says, my kids have kept drinking Zevia after having it when they ran out of their sugary drinks, then went back to sugar drinks and couldn't believe how sweet it was. At least there's less sugar in one area. That's the thing, is like, that's the one thing I could never go back to. Even if I went full-blown, like back to standard American diet and walked away from keto, carnivore, any low-carb thing, I don't think I could go back to or to full sugar soda. I've had some by mistake. And then I ordered a regular Sprite at a comedy club because you have to order whatever. And I was like, well, I don't want water. Water usually doesn't taste very good. And I don't want to pay for bottled water like $4. Probably should next time. But the Sprite, I just like regular sugary soda. There's just something I can't. It just does something to me. Like my mouth feel, the throat feel. I don't like it. Can't do it. Not going to do it. Cass brings up a good question here. Maybe cycle carnivore and keto instead of choosing one or the other. But I think they're both together. I think, again, we have to look at we have to look at the standard American diet, or we have to look at the proper human diet as a spectrum. Everything from single ingredient, whole food, whether you're eating, green beans and maybe some potatoes that are whole foods, and you're just having like roast potatoes and carrots, all the way to the other extreme end of things and eating only ruminant animal like beef and salt and water. I think it's a spectrum, and I think, we have to figure out where on that spectrum do each individual people, fit. Because I don't think it's not an all or nothing. I don't think it's an all or nothing, and I think that humans, especially humans, probably shifted throughout the year and what they ate based on what they could find. Now I know that we are in a situation where we have anything and everything we want at all times almost. There's nothing really ever out of season for us. So we have to take that into consideration. But I wish there was a way to go back and figure out, like typically humans from January to March ate this, and then they would slowly shift into this, and then we would slowly shift into this. And I wonder if that would impact us and how our bodies would do with that, kind of a legitimately cyclical way that our bodies evolved. So I'm curious. Ooh. And Jerry says to Cass, for some people, that is a good way to do it. I started keto, however. If I go back to certain keto foods that permanently cause me inflammation, the tight joints, fat knuckles, I don't feel good. Yeah, I understand that. Biscuit says, I got 3 of my daughters to eat eggs and meat for breakfast. Amazingly, I haven't bought cereal for them in months. Sadly, I'm up at 6 a.m. every day now to cook for them. How old are they? How old are these people? I know all of our kids are adults, save our grandchildren. But man, our youngest can't cook to save his life. He tried to make burger patties the other day and almost burned the house down. 2 burger patties, and he had the smoke alarms going off, and I'm like, what? Shirley King says, thank you, my friends. I'll take it all. The prayers. It's a 4-hour surgery. I'll be in the hospital for 3 days. My goodness. Well, just know that we love you, and we're going to be thinking about you. And Barbara's off to church. We'll catch the rest of the replay. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Barbara. Truly appreciate you. Be safe. Yeah, Biscuit's a great dad. I just want to know how old his kids are. But cook your own food. But then again, I cook for Chandra. I cook for our granddaughter. I know it's what we do. Andy says, I figured 5 cans a day, 2 for breakfast, 3 at lunch. That's probably going to be, that's like the bare minimum. That's 1,000 calories, give or take. Let's see. Let's see what this is going to tell me here. Let's see. So note the nutrition facts above are based on the drain serving size, typical for canned fish labels. If you consume the olive oil in the can, the calorie and fat content would be higher than shown on the label. Sodium may be vary slightly, and your specific can has more or less salt added. Some variants have different sodium levels. Let's see. Would you like to do a keto macro breakdown? Shows me for 5 cans. If you ate 5 cans, it would be 1,000 calories, 60 grams of fat, 280 grams of cholesterol, 1,700 milligrams of sodium, 0 carbohydrates, 110 grams of protein, your daily 140% of your daily calcium, 40% daily iron, 75% daily vitamin D, and 8,500 milligrams approximately of omega-3s. So that's interesting. So that's 1,000 calories. I'm curious. I was just curious. I want to look at the keto brick. So keto bricks, 1,000 calories, 90 grams of fat, only 30 to 31 grams of protein, but that's from pea, rice, or whey. I know some of them have switched, and the fat is from like tallow and stuff, depending on which one you get. Carbs are 3 to 5 net carbs, 7 to 8 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugar. I was just curious to see how that would vary. I'm curious because let me see something here. Oh, let's see. I think that the sardines at Costco are 6 cans for $12, but I'm not exactly sure for sure. And you can get them on sale. If you can get them on sale for like $9.99 for 6 cans, you could definitely get a good amount. I'm just searching through to see if they're on sale right now. I don't think that they are. And Sean says, Bride Biscuit, the things that we do for our children, it's a sacrifice. And we do it gladly. Make to ensure that they are not eating crap. Yeah, I do that too. I guess I would happily make sure that if our kids just ate, I would make all the meat and the eggs and the bacon if they would just eat that, but they don't want to do that. I'd make sure they had vegetables, whatever they wanted. Evelyn says, fasting makes me feel better and helps heal my body. I use fasting as a tool. It helps my body heal and keeps me on track. It's not a punishment. Yeah, and I understand that. And I'm not trying to say that people utilize fasting as a punishment, but I think sometimes people end up inadvertently throwing a fast at the end of something when they fall off track, and it's almost like a punishment. Biscuit says, I love my girls so much it hurts, but in a good way, Jerry. Plus, I see how their energy levels and overall mood have changed just from that one meal. It's a true blessing. Yeah, 1,000%. And Brenda says, I love your chaffles, but she's not crazy about any chaffles. Okay. Lisa's got to get ready for church. Well, we'll see you soon, dear. And Biscuit says, I don't hyper focus on anything, simply to lose weight, but nothing accelerates my weight loss more than a 48-hour fast, I noticed. Yeah, that's the reason I try to fast is typically a reset. I try to do a 7-day fast once or twice a year. I don't think I did one this year. I'm off. I need to do it. I'll probably do 2 this coming year. Like I said, I like to do 2 7-day fasts. That's good for autophagy, reset, ketone boosts, all that stuff. And Jerry says, weight loss and the concept of it may sound ideal to many people. For vanity purposes, for those of us who are very sick or going through a lot of medical things, weight loss is life. Yeah, 100%. I'm not saying that weight loss is not important. I think that often the overarching health space is weight loss focused. Most people start, whether it's keto, carnivore, Weight Watchers, veganism, whatever. Most of the time, people try something drastic because they are overweight and they want to lose weight. That's why the popularity of Ozempic has gone through the roof, is weight loss. You know what? I can lose weight and just take a shot every week or whatever it is, you know? And I know that there are people out there who are utilizing the GLP-1s in a meaningful, positive way, and I celebrate that. But at the same time, I'm very curious, you know, that the medical system is set up to such that they're making a massive profit off of GLP-1, so they're pushing. So, yeah. So Jerry says, Dustin, my intention is to chronologue what a 40-day fast is for me and have people watch vicariously through YouTube. A lot of people just don't care. They think I'm starving myself. Yeah, I've talked to, I had a friend who was trying to lose weight and various things. And they were like, well, this is just not work. I was like, have you tried fasting? And she got mad, hasn't talked to me since. She's like, I will not starve myself. And hasn't talked to me at all since. It's been like a couple of years. So people take that stuff very seriously. A lot of people look at fasting as starvation. Is there a component of starvation in there? Absolutely. But I think the thing that people don't recognize is how beneficial a little bit of starvation can be, because your body has an opportunity to break itself down and get rid of things that it doesn't need. So, I mean, you know, unfortunately, like, you know, because when I talk about things, it's not necessarily people here in this group, people here in this chat. I'm talking about the overarching number of people that are looking into our community, whether they are participating, whether they are curious, whatever. People who are wanting to lose weight hyperfixate on the weight loss, and I think they do themselves a major disservice, because the idea that weight loss is the end all be all, and if I'm not losing weight, it's not working. So again, I'm not ever really talking about everybody in this group here. I'm talking about the population as a whole. Most people that are here in these chats have been doing the work. They have been looking at finding out what works best for them. And they have been they've been going down the rabbit holes. They have been doing the N=1. They've been doing all these things. So most people here in these chats that come week after week are not necessarily who I am talking about. Now, when it comes to something like what Andy was talking about, whether, you know, I've been off track, so now I'm going to do a 30-day sardine fast. Something like that makes me want to ask the question, at what point is it for intervention versus punishment? These are questions that I think are valid. You know, and I don't, you know, and like we talk about Jerry, who's doing Jerry's doing her 40-day religious fast, but she's doing it for more than just religion. She's doing it for health, and she does them every year, and she's well versed in what it takes for her body to do that. So I would never question the reason she's doing it. Now, maybe if she got down to 110 pounds and I'd be like, are you sure you want to fast for 40 days? You're 110 pounds. You know, if she got to like, you know, she got waif thin, you know, then I would ask, is that a wise thing to do? And hopefully she would understand that's probably not a wise thing to do. But, you know, but anyway. Andy Carnivore says, to fly like an eagle, you must eat like an eagle, and you got to grow wings like an eagle. Because if you don't have wings, you ain't flying. You can eat like an eagle all day long, but doesn't mean you're flying. Jerry and Cass says, Jerry, fasting is not starving. To some degree, it is. There is some starvation involved in fasting, because I mean, you're not giving your body any foods. But is it your body does go into a starvation mode because your body understands that starvation is a normal part of life. A thing that we in modern times don't address. We have to understand that up until 200 years ago, starving was a normal part of life. There wasn't always enough food to go around, and that's why we focused on things like bread and making all these things, because we didn't want to starve. There wasn't always enough meat and fat to go around. So anyway. Karen Harrington is in the house. Good morning, Karen. Good to see you. Jerry says, Cass, I know that, but some people on the thread say I'm starving myself, and they don't get the concept of my spiritual journey is different than just eating food. Yeah. And Andy Carnivore says, Jerry, I constantly drive the highway, and I love seeing the hawks. Where I live, I see bald eagles. And the other day I was driving, I picked the girl up from school, and we were driving back, and a hawk flew right across my windshield. Just out in front of my car, just swooped right down. It had a squirrel in its talons. So this giant hawk was carrying a squirrel. It was impressive. I'm like, wow. You saw the tail fluttering in the wind. It was incredible. Jeremiah's in the house. Good morning, my friend. I was saying thank you earlier to your contribution to the diaper fund and to helping us out with getting some of the pacifiers for the new baby. Thank you, Jeremiah. You're always amazing. Thank you, sir. Evelyn says, I don't go out to eat often, but instead of going off plan in the food area, I will allow myself to have a diet pop as a treat if I feel like I've indulged, and that satisfies my brain. I like diet soda. That's one thing. Like, I still stop in at McDonald's and get a Coke Zero. I just kind of feel like I still, you need to give yourself a little something. It helps keep me feel like I have had it. I'm getting something that I want. Biscuit says they're old enough, but they revert to toddlers at 6 a.m. That's crazy. Sean says, Pop, Evelyn. I haven't heard them called Pop in a long time. My Little Soda Pop. If you haven't watched some Demon Hunters, get on it. K-pop Demon Hunters. Bride's Biscuit says, Dad, I have to get ready for college. Isn't the excuse they think it is. We've been through a lot as a family, though, so I don't sweat it. Even the single dad for over 10 years now. Well, I hope they feel the love. Can you feel the love tonight? I think here in the Midwest, here in Indiana, soda and pop are interchangeable. I say soda. Sometimes you'll say pop. It doesn't matter. It's all the same to us. Evelyn says, Sean, yeah, soda, pop, and Coke, even if it's Pepsi. Yeah, it's like, can I get a, can I get a Diet Coke? Well, is Pepsi okay? Well, it's what you got. Give it to me. I mean, I don't like Diet Coke. I will drink water over Diet Coke. Diet Coke is one where I can taste the chemicals, and it's disgusting. So Biscuit says, I have to feed their cat every morning, too, circling my leg while I'm yelling at my coffee maker to hurry up. That's like I got to let the dogs out. I got to do this, that, and the other. I got to feed the cat, water the cat. Then I'm like, just another mouth to feed. Well, I'm going to be back to I'm tripping over kids' toys, kids' dog toys, stuff, the kids' shoes they take off. Like, why they think they need to take the shoes off in the kitchen, I don't know. Like, our son was over. They're still downstairs right now. At least they were when I came up here. And he took his shoes off just like in the middle of the living room. I'm like, put those where shoes go. I'm just like, I don't understand, like, why people would just not. Just put your shit where it goes. There's too many people in this house to not put your stuff where it goes. Jerry says, this may be TMI. I don't think there's a such thing in this group as TMI, Jerry. I think you and I have pushed those boundaries to the wall. So she says, this may be TMI right now, Dustin, but after 27 days, I can see what my body is getting rid of every day in a porcelain bowl. That's the thing that people don't understand is if you're not eating, you're still going to go poop. It might be tiny amounts, but your body's getting rid of things. There's still bacteria growing in your body. There's still things your body's getting rid of. There's still processes your body has to go through to maintain life. So even you may not be eating food, but you're still going through processes. Changes. Every time they make healthy choice that requires my help, I get up right off my butt. Yeah. So let's see. So you're saying that right now, $1.34 a can for sardines, sometimes 10 for 10. I'd stock up on sardines if I could get that. But I like the boneless, skinless ones. I haven't worked my way up to bone in, skin on sardines yet. And Jerry says, Cara, are you referring to an example when my dog will eat grass to settle her stomach or when she wants to vomit? Well, dogs are scavengers. Dogs only don't eat meat. They'll eat anything they can find. Not to say that they wouldn't prefer meat, but dogs are scavengers. They will eat anything. I mean, not anything. There's things that they won't eat. And then if they'll smell things like, I ain't eating that. Biscuit says, I only managed to get up to 48-hour fast so far. I need to not lean on coffee as much, though. Consumption during the second day gave me stomach distress last time. That's the thing is, like, it took me a long time to get to the point where I could fast over, like, I did like 15-hour fast, 16-hour fast, 20-hour fast for a long time, like every day. Then I would bump that. I did like a 48-hour fast once, a 36-hour fast. Then I was like, well, let me try a 4-day fast, a 5-day fast. Then I remember that my first 7-day fast, and I came into the office and I was telling our RVP's assistant about that. She goes, you're going to die. I'm like, I'm going to be fine. Every day I came in, I'm still here. And, it is what it is. And Rick is right. Not everybody wants to lose weight. Not everybody in this community is here to lose weight. That being said, overwhelming majority of people come to this community because they want to lose weight. You're going to get the outliers, the people like, the Peterson girl, Jordan Peterson's daughter, who came into this whole community because she wanted to fix her autoimmune issues. She didn't have weight to lose. Jordan lost weight going carnivore, but I don't think what weight wasn't his issue. He just happened to lose some weight. That wasn't what drove him to this community. I think we have to look beyond ourselves. We have to look beyond ourselves. We know why we're here, and we have to understand why others are coming here. The overwhelming majority of people come here because they want to lose weight. Then there's going to be a subset of people who are here because they want to maybe help with their mental clarity. They want to help themselves with autoimmune issues. They want to help themselves with whatever ails them. So let's see. Evelyn says, Jerry, there's a pack of wolves that were followed for years. They would travel differently every now and then, found out they were traveling to eat wild blueberries that had nutrients they needed. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is, I want to say most obligate carnivores probably are designed that way for the environment that they're in. And you got to imagine that a lot of these obligate carnivores are eating animals that eat other things, so they don't have to. But our bodies may not necessarily be made that way. There we go. Kevin from Tuber Chat is in the house. Good morning, Kevin. Hope you're wonderful. Hope you had a wonderful holiday, my friend. It's one of those times where the holidays line up, where Canada and the United States have the same holiday. Christmas and New Year and all those things. I hope you're doing wonderful. I have not seen this, but Holly's asking the question, has anybody seen any the ad for GLP-1 that's been made into pill form? That'll probably be crazy. That'll go like gangbusters if you don't have to get a shot. And again, I'm not necessarily against GLP-1 usage. I'm against relying on it solely to make a difference in your life. I know some people are utilizing things utilizing things to make things better for themselves. They're utilizing it like how Adrian does it, or all these other people that will utilize them in different ways, not necessarily for weight loss. Some people are utilizing it for weight loss, and that's okay. But I just worry about the number of people that are utilizing this medication because it's the new sensation in weight loss. Again, I think, I don't know. We should be trying to find out easy ways to do things for our people. But at the same time, I don't know. Everybody's saying hello to Kevin, Kevin and Tuber Chat. Do. Jerry says, I'm seriously considering doing a 1 day per month soft dry fast as opposed to 16th year of Jesus fast. Bridesman says, there are so many triple compound weight loss formulas coming out in 2026, GLP-1, GIP, GCG. The ad industry is still exploding. And it's going to, as long as people, I hope we find success. I hope people could find what they're looking for. It's just, I hope they don't have any of the major downside, the major effects. Because they're going to make trillions of dollars. And if they do end up with a class action lawsuit, they're going to lose a couple of billion, but they're going to make $1 trillion in advance. So they're going to make a couple of $1 trillion on these drugs. And if there's a class action lawsuit where people sue them collectively and win, then they're only going to be at a couple of $1 billion. Even if they're $100 billion. If they're at $100 billion and they made $5 trillion, they're not even going to notice it. And Bryce was just saying, you can't discount the value of GLP-1. And I'm not trying to say across the board that they're bad. I think the idea that they're putting millions of people on them is concerning, because there are a lot of things out there that people can do but won't, because of the way society is structured. Society is structured in a way that keto is bad, or going low carb is bad. You know, eating meat is bad. Eat the way the government tells you. And if that doesn't work, here, take this medicine. When that food is designed really to get you to get the medicine in you. That's what bothers me about the whole setup. GLP-1s can be beneficial to individuals who have literally tried everything. And I understand that, what, Brad, you can't discount GLP-1s for folks that have already tried so many things and failed. Like lion diet is the answer to struggling on carnivore for struggling on keto. Yeah, I understand all that. But we're looking at millions of people now taking a drug to solve the problem that industry created. So the industry created this problem, and now they're giving giving you a medicine to fix it, instead of giving the majority of people actual true information on how to try and fix it without medical intervention first. So that's what really concerns me. And low carb spend, Karen says, the concerning problem is that they're not changing their lifestyle. Yeah. And I mean, and I know not everybody's going to change. Not everybody, and I've talked about this ad nauseum. Not everybody's going to go keto. Not everybody's going to go carnivore. You're unlikely to get most people to go single ingredient whole foods, let alone keto, carnivore, and lion diet. The idea that we are going to change the dietary paradigm in my lifetime and my kids' lifetime is an astronomically impossible undertaking. I think it's taken 200 plus years to get where we are. I don't see us changing that anytime soon. Now, we can make great strides. But even if everybody who takes GLP-1 gets the satisfaction they're looking for, they get the weight loss goal they want, they're still kind of trapped by the GLP-1 because they haven't made meaningful, impactful changes to their lifestyle to maintain the control that the drug provides them. If they stop taking the drug, if the drug gets outlawed, if the drug gets taken off the market, they'll be right back where they were. And that's what concerns me. I understand that people utilize these drugs and that's fine. I understand that we all need a little extra sometimes. But I mean, I'm old enough, a lot of you are old enough to see over the years, since the 1970s, all of the wonder drugs that have come out to help people lose weight. Remember Fen-Phen? Oh, and then bariatric surgery was the new thing, and that was going to save everybody. They're still doing bariatric surgeries. People are getting bariatric surgeries and then gaining weight back because they're not changing their lifestyle. If just exercising, eating less and moving more worked, then think about how successful The Biggest Loser would have been. Everybody would have maintained it. They would have come off the show, stayed thin, but almost, I think it was over 80% gained all their weight back or more. I just think that, we have to look at, are there good things coming out of GLP-1? Sure. People are seeing positive outcomes from GLP-1s, but that doesn't mean that millions of people should be on it. But what do I know? I'm just some guy on the internet. I'm just some guy sitting here talking to you guys on a Sunday morning. Sean says, oh, great. Something else they have in a pill now. Wonder how the different side effects will be between the pill and the shot. I don't fault or blame anyone. I don't blame anybody for taking the GLP-1. I'm not mad at the individuals. I am not angry. I am not mad. I do. If you are somebody in my personal life and you say, should I take a GLP-1? I would probably say, probably not. Probably not right away. Have you tried this, this, and this first? Have you given these things a good go? You're like, I'm going to try a GLP-1 because I did keto for 3 days and it didn't do anything for me. I'm going to try it again. If you're in my personal life, try it again. Give it an actual good go because, one, they're expensive. I don't know. Because I don't fault people for taking GLP-1s because, again, the same system that's setting them up for failure is putting this on the market and saying it's going to solve all your problems. And again, we're going to see some positive come out of it. We're going to see positives. But how much negatives are we going to see? Bride's just says, Jerry, doing your annual 40-day walk into the food wilderness. Oh, let's see. Jerry says, thanks, a new decade of healing now that I will be 65 years old in February. Well, happy early birthday. Janet from another planet is here. Good morning, Janet. Glad to see you, my dear. How are you? How are you? So glad to see you here. And Cass said, Dustin, I meant starving versus fasting is the choice to eat oneself. Starving is imposed, not chosen. Fasting is chosen. Jerry, one day dry fasting a month sounds great. Yeah, because isn't the like, what do they say that 1 day of dry fasting, a 24-hour dry fast, is similar to a 3-day normal fast? I don't know for sure, and it probably depends on per person. Rick says it'll be a few years if he makes it to 65. I hope I make it to 65. I got a lot of life left to live. And Risa is asking Janet if she got her name from All My Children. If she's an All My Children fan, as there is a character that everyone called that. And Janet says, I have not had a soda in over 12 years. I went a long time without drinking any soda. When we went keto, I didn't drink any soda for a long time because I never liked the taste of diet soda. And then a pizza restaurant here in my town decided they were going to start serving keto pizzas. So we went to get the keto pizza and I got a Diet Pepsi and I was like, hey, hold on. Is this real? And they're like, yeah, that's diet. I'm like, okay. And it tasted so good. I've been drinking soda ever since. It's rough. Yeah, you're right, Cindy. She says, you and Shander need to get some ground rules so we don't go crazy. Listen, I can't even keep from losing my damn remotes. I have 3 Fire TV remotes downstairs. 3. 2 have the little rubber covers on them, so they don't slip into the couch, but they still do. I had a black one that I would keep hidden. So just in case they lost the other 2, when I wanted to sit down and watch something, I would make sure I had a remote to watch the TV with. And I go downstairs and they're all 3 lost. They're like, we don't know little Timmy me. I'm like, listen. Y'all lose y'all lose it. I never lose it because when I go downstairs, if no one's in the house, it stays right where I put it. If I go upstairs and leave it on the arm on my recliner, I come back downstairs, it's on the arm of the recliner. But anyway. Yeah, the boots and shoes, boots and pants and boots and pants. That I don't know. I don't want to get into that right now. That's just going to make me crazy. Yeah, there's no such thing as TMI here. No TMI. No TMI here. Biscuit says skinless, boneless sardines are more usually around the double the price, just like chicken. Just like chicken. Some have started to get a heart attack. Uh-oh. Biscuit says I started keto carnivore with weight loss. The only goal. When I discovered the healing, it was a paradigm shift. Yeah, 100%. Jerry says, pardon me for one moment. Dustin, I want a brief commercial, Dustin, please. After your live is over. She said life, but I understand. Can you redirect this group over to Low Carb Spend to watch her new video drop today? Thank you in advance. I will try. I'll see what I can do. Let me go over and see if I can do that here real quick. Hold on a second. Let's see. It's not going to let me redirect people over. I would try, but it's not going to let me redirect people over to Low Carb Spends channel. Let me see. They're back. First video in 6 months. Woo! But what I will do here, let me go in and let me pin this to the comments. Let me get this video up here. We'll do that. We'll put that here and we'll pin it to the top. So when this live is over, ladies and gentlemen, go to the pinned comment and see their new video. Jerry, never worry about the shame. The shame. Shame. Don't worry about it. People are going to people. Internet's going to internet. Just know that we're here for you. Yeah, we've talked about this one. You can't discount the value of GOP1. And I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to, if something is legitimately working for somebody, I'm not going to shame them or discount it. But the thing that I will do is often question why are millions of people on a drug for weight loss, then that means there's something inherently wrong with our system. Oh, let's see. Sherry is here. Good morning, Sherry. Welcome. Glad you could join us, if not for just a little while. Let's see. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy to think that there were times where people like, if you bring something up that's really deep seated in me, because when my mother was pregnant with me, she took diet pills in the direction of her doctor. That's crazy. That's insanity to me. And now, like our daughter was pregnant, she didn't take ibuprofen the entire time she was pregnant. Lisa's back again. I don't know. I always kind of wonder how much great information am I actually providing. I don't know. Maybe I undervalue myself a little here, but I don't know. I'm just here trying to do and be the best me that I can be. So you guys are very complimentary to me. Like, always a great live. Yes, Karen, today is a great live. Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. My mom struggled with her weight her entire life. I don't think my mom was a heavy set from her childhood into adulthood until the day she died. And maybe there's something genetic there. I was very skinny as a youth until I got to like mid elementary school, late elementary school. Then I got into middle school and high school and I was big, but never like super huge, but bigger. Like, you know, I was at the top end of what clothes in regular stores would be. So like 2XL t-shirts in the 90s. And I would worry. I'm like, here I am worrying. What am I going to do when these are too tight for me? Where am I going to get bigger clothes? Instead of how am I going to lose weight, my idea was like, where am I going to get bigger clothes? Because the idea that me being small was such a weird idea that I never dreamed that I would be able to even lose weight. So then when I found keto and I started losing weight and started getting thinner and thinner and thinner, where I thought I was going to die, you know, I just kind of, you know, I don't know, like, yeah. That's why I'm never leaving this community. Let's see. Russ is in the house. What up, everybody? Hello. Welcome, Russ. Happy holidays, my friend. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. So glad to see you. Tops. Take off pounds sensibly. That's insanity. Sharon Holiday. Sharon is in the house. Good morning, all. Just dropping in for a bit before going back to staining cabinet doors. Well, we love you. Thank you for being here, Sharon. I have missed you. Jerry's asking Kelly if you're in Mexico yet. I have been praying for you to have safe travels. And again, I want to make sure that all the folks, the ones that chat in here, the ones that do not chat in here, all of you wonderful people, I know that Robin and Callie and everybody listen, but they don't chime in. And I imagine there's a lot of other people out there that are listening that don't chime in. 32 people watching here on YouTube, 15 over on X. Nobody currently watching over on Rumble. That's okay. I don't get a lot of watchers over there anyway, but you know, they're just one of those things, right? And Biscuit says 2-hour Dustin stream. Where's my second cuppa? People at? I'm still on my first. Let's see. Evelyn says, I will never do a dry fast as I struggled with kidney problems my whole life. It's amazing how a plan for eating has really opened my eyes to learn about myself. Yeah. And the most I've ever really dry fast is like 18 hours. But you got to factor in, like, you go to bed, you sleep for X number of hours, and if you just hang around the house. I used to dry fast before weighing myself. I used to do a dry fast every, like if I was going to go visit Chandra at work and weigh in. So I'd weigh in at her work when she worked at one of the other hospitals. So I would dry fast, wouldn't have my coffee, wouldn't do anything until I weighed in, because all those little ounces add up. Yeah, Russ said hi a little bit ago. See, Rick? He probably pulled a me, said hi, and then rolled out. Evelyn says, Dustin, my dad always fell asleep with the remote and it got lost. We bought him a watch that was a remote control. You get one. Well, the thing is the problem with this is I can run the Fire Stick with my phone, but I can't run the volume or turn the TV on and off because I don't have an IR blaster. So yeah, I remember the last phone that had that available was the Note 3, and here I am on the what would be like the Note. I don't even know what the Note. They would like. There was like the Note 9, the Note 10. So here we are, like 7 notes away from that. So that's like, yeah, they don't put IR blasters in anything anymore. Biscuit said, my daughter asked for an old school Wii and guitar controller for Christmas. We've been rocking Guitar Hero all weekend. I love it. Our granddaughter got a Switch, the original Switch, for Christmas. I haven't seen him hook it up, so I know she got Mario Kart for Christmas. So I see some Mario Kart in our future. Yeah, and Cass says the remote. Dustin, don't get me started. I'm about to just start doing things where like I just hang them from the ceiling. Russ. Oh, I love it. Biscuit says I got a Roku for that reason. Hey, Roku. Well, the thing is I've got we've got the one of those Amazon little things on our desk too downstairs, like it's got a little screen on it, like a little 6-inch screen or whatever on it. But it doesn't control the Roku. It doesn't control the Fire Stick. Excuse me. I tried to mute it, didn't mute it in time. Oh, my goodness. Carl made it to Columbus Airport area. Signing off. See you later. Well, we love you, Carl. Be safe. Let's see. Evelyn Keto Helpline. Jerry, go out about an hour without. I go about 1 hour without liquid. If I head to the second hour without water, my tongue swells. I get angry. My head starts to spin. Like I said, I know me better than anyone. Yeah. Andy Carnivore says subscribed and watching now. Fantastic. Rick says, we come here to see a familiar face. I appreciate that. He didn't say a pretty face. He said familiar. And I'm here for the glorious beard. That's it. I love it. Did you ever, Biscuit, did you ever listen to Guttermouth? I don't know if you were familiar with them or not. Julie says, we love you, Dustin. We missed you so much. I missed all of you so very much. Having a couple of days of not worrying about being live was kind of nice too, but then there's the panic and the anxiety that I'm not here and not going live because it is so very much an important part of my life. So, typically I only like to miss, I don't like to miss, but if I'm on vacation or, we have a baby, you know what I mean? That's those are the big things. So, And Mr. Russ says, losing weight is great. Not gaining any is more, even better. I agree. Whew. Biscuit says, I have a 12-ounce cup, but I ordered a 17-ounce coming this week as a late Christmas gift to myself. I've been looking. I was looking for a giant mug, like a something that wasn't like ridiculously, but I was looking for like a 30-ounce mug. Because really that naughty mug that Shander uses sometimes on our lives on Tuesday, that one holds about the same amount as this. So that's like almost like a 30, I think it's probably a 28 or 30-ounce mug. But finding them that large is almost impossible because even when you put those in your search parameters, what comes up is 16-ounce mugs, 12-ounce mugs, 8-ounce mugs. If I could do that, I would love to be able to put those up and sell those. I'd love to be able to sell these mugs with my logo on them, but, difficult. Jerry says, even though I am now 100% devoted carnivore, coming into this group of wonderful people I call friends in the keto community is definitely a special thing for me to do. And I value you. Well, I appreciate that. And that's one thing I hope to do is break down the barrier, the fact that keto and carnivore and low carb and whatever can't coexist because it does take all of us. Because if we are commingling and we are working together as a team, instead of being, I only go to carnivore channels, I only go to keto channels, you're keto, I don't want to talk to you. How do we learn? How do you get somebody who might be keto that may be curious about carnivore? Just like if someone's curious about carnivore and they go, hey, I've got this, I found this, and you're like, steak and water and that's it. Why are you even cooking your steak? They're going to think you're crazy and move on. We have to make an effort to be understanding and meet people where they are. That's why I don't want to ever fault anybody for being here. I want everybody to be here. I don't care if you're carnivore, vegan, whatever. I want everybody here because all of us are on a journey. And that journey looks different for each and every one of us. Just like a carnivore journey for Jerry looks different than the carnivore journey for Biscuit or Cass or Indy Andy Carnivore. Those carnivore journeys all look different too. And we have to learn to embrace our differences as well as our similarities. We just have to. If we want to successfully help as many of the millions of people out there that are screaming for help silently because they don't even know to ask for help, how do we help them? How do we help them if we can't get out of our own way and understand that carnivore is not the way for 100% of people? Keto is not the way for 100% of people. Vegan's not the way for 100% of people. We have to understand, and we have to remember that we are looking and talking and coming at this from the perspective of people who have broken this down for ourselves for numerous years. And we have to be able to communicate with somebody who knows nothing about any of this. So we can't make them feel less than because they don't know something they haven't learned yet. That's one thing that I see in these groups, one thing that I see in forums, and I try to keep track of a lot of things to see what's going on out there, because how we behave in these spaces is going to directly impact how we can help people. If we can't help people by being nice, understanding their perspective, we have people who are coming out of some of the worst sad diets. They are food addicted. They have no idea that food addiction is even a thing. And they're coming, they have questions. And if you ask a little question and you get jumped on by 13 people in a chat or a comment section or whatever, they're going to walk away. They're going to leave feeling, well, that's not for me. They don't even want me in there. I didn't get any answers. They were mean. And that goes a long way. Like, was it Carrie Mann? I didn't watch it, but Carrie Mann made a video where he drank some fermented juice or something like that, some fermented like liquid off of like whatever it was. And another creator gave him all kinds of shit for it. They said the word they used was eviscerated. On what planet is that a good idea? Why would you do that? Outside of the views, outside of the spectacle, why would one creator tear down another creator for trying something for themselves? That I don't understand. That I will not condone. That I will not allow here in my community. Because I don't care how carnivore you are, how carnivore you claim to be. If you're like, hey, I tried some fermented cabbage to see if it helped me. I was having some issues and I tried some fermented cabbage. Did it work? Yeah, cool. Awesome. I just don't understand how we've gotten to a point where we're trying to help people and then we're so quick and easy to tear each other down. And I'm talking more along the creator aspect of things, but I see it in the groups, I see it in the Facebook pages, and I know that stuff is toxic. But we have to understand that it's toxic. Not everybody realizes how toxic it is until they get in there and they're like, wait a minute, why is everyone so mean? I mean, I've talked about it before. I mean, we have to even understand, like, say, and it's, we see that that Dr. Kiltz will sometimes, I've seen him eat raw steak on his channel, which he is totally allowed to do. But you have to also look at a perspective of somebody who comes onto his channel looking for help, and they're sitting there seeing this man eating a raw steak, and they're like, well, I'm out. Now, Dr. Kiltz has found that works for him. But we have to understand that how many times do you see videos where somebody makes a rare steak and people are like, nope, that's not even done. That's not even cooked. How dare you? Now, I'm not saying it's possible to make content that appeases everybody, because it is impossible. But I just always like to make the idea or make the message known that what we say, how we behave on these live streams, things that we show, truly does have an impact on others who have no idea what we're talking about. Like with Jerry's 40-day fast, it stands to reason she's going to get weird comments, because the idea for a person who's living a standard American diet to fast for 40 days sounds insane. It sounds like self-harm. And I imagine a good number of people would probably look at it that way. Is it? No. But we have to look at the perspective that people come to these groups with. You have to remember, what have we been taught for the last 200 years? One thing I wanted to talk about, now this is not me talking about religion, but there was something that I saw, a little video the other day. There was a Bible passage I understood. Let me see if I can figure out which one it was. Again, this is not for religious purposes. This is for informational purposes, as my understanding is there is a couple of passages about fasting that are not in every Bible anymore. Like they just cover over them. Let's see if I can figure out which one that one was. Let me see. I apologize for not talking, but I'm trying to see if I can find this out here. I think it's Matthew 17:21. And I think Matthew 17:21, sometimes depending on which Bible you look into, it's not there. The passage isn't there. Matthew 17:21. And again, like I said, this isn't about a religious issue. This is more along the lines of some Bibles do not have this passage for some reason. Because my understanding is this talks about utilizing fasting to heal yourself. So if any of you those out there, let's see. So 17:21 context, the verse follows a story of Jesus healing a boy with an epileptic, with epilepsy, it looks like, and the disciples' inability to cast out the demons. Meeting, Jesus explains that despite the disciples' lack of faith or whatever was the issue, but for some reason it says, however, this kind does not go out except by prayer and fasting. So that's a question. So a lot of times my understanding is under Matthew 17:21, that passage is not in a lot of the Bible. So I would question that. So Evelyn says Matthew 17:21, often paired with verses 19 and 20, explains why disciples failed to cast out the demon, and Jesus teaching this kind for him to pass spiritually into. Okay. Yeah, so I was like, if that's something that's normally paired, but why would that? how, like, but it's not explicitly said under 1721. Why would they leave that out? Just curious. And it looks like Christianity is not the only one that utilizes fasting, but Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Judaism, Taoism all utilize fasting. Yes, there is only one Rick. There is only one Rick. Oh. Andy says, I was subscribed to Rumble, but I had issues when it would connect to my truck and couldn't see spending the money if it wasn't working for me. Oh, I don't know. Does it cost money to subscribe to somebody on? I don't know enough about Rumble. I just knew that that Facebook is where I would go live, but I wasn't getting any engagement there. And then they were saying they were going to delete lives after 30 days. So they were, well, that doesn't make any sense for me to build up a catalog of lives for them just to disappear after 30 days. So anyway. Yep. Russ says, my niece gave me the flu for Christmas. Does that count? Of course it does. Jerry says, kind of sad news today from the channel Keto Upgrade. She's the lady that makes all the professionally baked keto baked goods. Today, check out her video if you have time to do so today. Okay. Fantastic. So I asked the reason for this biscuit is Guttermouth. There was a gentleman who was a bass player in their band for a while named Adam, and he went on to do YouTube and make YouTube content over the last like 15, 16 years. And I got into watching his content. He would go to Disney parks, Universal parks. He would travel the world, all over the place. And so, yeah, he just passed away this month. He passed away on the 22nd, but he had been in the band Guttermouth for a while. So that's the reason why I asked about that. And Biscuit says, remember, Dustin, I came up during the second wave of hardcore in New York City, early 80s, so always looking at punk scene as it developed. So thinking about, like, I know that there we had like a hardcore scene in Indianapolis in the mid 80s, early 80s. I know we were part of like that I know Tufty we had some stuff going on here, either with the Zero Boys and I think and some others. Especially like around the early Black Flag days, because I know Black Flag would come through here and play. Fortunately, I was 2-3 years old, so I wasn't attending those shows. But yeah, I would love to have been able to do that kind of stuff. But yeah. And Russ says, all ketogenic diets work, all are valid and good for us. 100%. Even just low carb. I mean, you figure if we could just get a majority of the people who are standard American diet right now just to shift to a lower carb, single ingredient, whole food diet, how much better would we be? I'm not talking carnivore. I'm not talking ketovore. I'm not talking even keto. Just get them to where they are eating single ingredient, whole foods, roast potatoes, carrots, rice, beans, meat, eggs, bacon, whole fat, not canola oil, just real foods, how much better off would we be as a society? And then we could funnel people in easier to what we're doing here. Thank you, Indie Andy Carnivore, for being here. Plug a duck, gotta fly, Dustin. You rock. Thank you. Have a great one, my friend. Oh. Let's see. Biscuits is about a 12-inch large cast iron back in the summer. I made Carrie's carnivore meatballs yesterday. They came out perfect. Risa says, to Biscuit, I've been a huge punk fan since 77. Seen the Ramones several times, Talking Heads at all the Boston punk groups during college. Still a fan. Passed on my love to my son. Hubby also loves it. I love it. Karen's got to walk the fur babies. Have a wonderful new year. Thank you for being here, dear. Make sure to click the pinned comment and watch her video after we are done here. I love it. Yeah, nobody likes the negativity. Thomas left for a bit. Lisa's got to go to church. Be safe. Have fun. Happy New Year, my dear. We will be live again Tuesday. At least me. We'll see how Shander is. But, I mean, our daughter's home until March. So we'll see. We'll see. But Daddy goes to work on Monday. So we'll see how Tuesday goes for us. But we will be here. Sharon says, I have so many cast iron pieces from Griswold to Walmart. What is everybody's thoughts on the idea that if people are polishing their cast iron into shiny silver looking stuff? What do people think about that? Terry says, every channel has a straw and a seeker will go to more than just one, most likely to fight their comfort zone. I love it. It takes all of you guys' personalities because all of you magnet a certain type of personality. Yeah. We're talking about punk and hardcore in the 80s and 90s. Bride's Biscuit says, my band played with Gangrene back in the day, 1987. At the Brick and Wood in Connecticut. That's awesome. Terry's asking, did you see Grandma Barb and Baby's New Carriage? I did not see it. Evelyn's asking, is anybody joining us on Cindy DeManch's live to ring in the new year this year? Hope you see you there. We will be with friends at a friend's party, but I imagine I'll stop in at least a little bit to say hello on my phone while we're at their house. Yeah, we know there is only one Rick. Evelyn says, I think our melting pot looks more like a large coffee pot. I agree. Coffee is delicious. And I don't allow anybody to beat themselves up. Cindy says, Sharon, you cannot beat yourself up at all. You have gone through more than anybody, more than many. Yeah, no beating yourself up here. We're here to love ourselves and understand that we are fallible. We are prone to making mistakes. But we get ourselves and we pick ourselves back up again and we keep going. We just keep swimming. Bride's Visit says, Rumble, you need just one subscription and you can then view multiple content. Okay. I have no idea how Rumble really works. I just stream over there, so I have no idea. There we go. There's keto upgrades video if you want to watch that later today. And Terry says, I listened to the Dog Man yesterday talking about how YouTube pays. YouTube, you have to make at least $100 in a month for them to pay you each month. So say like if this month I only made $20 and next month I made $20 and every month I made $20, I had to wait 5 months before they paid me out. Or till you cross that $100 threshold. So I am forever grateful for you guys today with the super chats and things that you have given me today. I will cross that $100 for this month, so I will get money to help me keep this channel afloat for next month. I need to make usually about $200 a month to keep YouTube going. So between the stuff that comes in from Amazon, the stuff that you guys purchase from me from Keto Chow, Salty, all the links in my ketosimple.shop, any of that, anything like any of the super chats, the memberships, all those things do go to keeping this channel on the air because I have to pay my website, like my website. There's so not just the website. I have to pay for EV Mux and the different services that I utilize to make all the editing and content and everything that I do. It all comes to about $200 a month. So, I mean, I'm not getting rich over here, folks. But that every little bit truly does help this channel. That's why I get so emotional when you guys do things like help us out with super chats and the donations. Maritza is here. Good morning. All the way in Nevada. Reese says, I saw Henry Rollins in his solo days at the Ritz in NYC. Excellently did a couple of Black Flag songs. I didn't see Henry Rollins until 97 with Rollins Band. I only got to see Rollins Band once, and that was on the Come In and Burn tour, which is my favorite record by them, by the way. I think it's a phenomenal record. They don't like it very much. That's kind of what broke the band up in that form. He did then get together with another group of guys and kept going with Rollins Band, did a couple more albums. They were more raw, more what he was looking for. But, yeah. Jerry gifted 5 Keto Simple memberships. Fantastic. Thank you so very much. Donated 5 morning regular memberships. I can't believe it. So we got Brian got a membership from Jerry. John got a membership from Jerry. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Lewis got a membership from Jerry. Debbie got a membership from Jerry. It was almost very difficult for me to say Debbie, Jerry. I don't know why. And then Josephine with the 5th and final membership from Jerry. Jerry, I appreciate you beyond words, and I hope you truly understand that I mean that in every aspect of it. Your support is amazing, and I truly love you very much. And Biscuit said, I went to every Super Bowl of hardcore starting at the Ritz in the early 90s. That's amazing. I went to a lot of shows in the mid to late 90s into the 2000s. Oh. Yes. Happy New Year, Mia. Thank you. Oh. Let's see. Then Risa says, I remember Gangrene Biscuit. I haven't forgot about what Bride's Biscuit was asking me to do. Bride's Biscuit was asking me to make a list, and I'll probably make a Spotify list. Maybe depending on how easy YouTube is to make a list, I'll make a kind of a list of bands or albums, probably albums that meant something to me over the years. Albums that got me into things, albums that meant something that I listened to a lot. And if you guys would care to listen to that, I'll give the links out. It'll probably take me a while to put together. Probably something that I put together over time as I think about things. And they probably won't be in any kind of order. They'll just be what I'm thinking about at that time. Because I think about, like, when we think about, like, bands from New Jersey, like, one of the bands from New Jersey is a band called God Forbid. And they have an album called Determination. And that's like one of my top 5 records of all time. And that came out in like the early, like 2001. But I'm always looking for new stuff. There's been bands in Indianapolis that I've loved, bands from other states that I've loved. Just amazing groups and music all over the world. That's amazing. But yeah. I went and got myself one of those like chainmail scrubbers that's got like it's like chainmail over like a silicone thingy, and I scrub my cast iron down with that. A lot of times I just heat it up, scrape it, and dump it in the trash, and then I just wipe it out, and then I sometimes will throw them in the oven at 500 degrees for like, and just basically get it to 500 degrees. So as it hits 500 degrees, then I'll just turn it off and let it sit there overnight and cool down. And then that usually works a good trick. And I don't ever really, I mean, it's very rare that I'll wash it out in a sink. But anyway. Terry says, people with 1 million followers are making bank. You can make a lot of money with a couple of thousand subscribers, really. You have 10,000 subscribers, you could be making a lot of money. Maybe not from AdSense, but if you are good with affiliate marketing or you have a niche that people are really interested in, and you've got the right thing to promote to the right group of people who are interested in buying what you have to sell. I mean, I kind of shoot myself in the foot a little bit here because there's nothing that I promote that I will tell you is necessary or that you have to do this to be successful. Like Keto Chow, wonderful product. Do you need Keto Chow to be successful living this lifestyle? Absolutely not. Does it help thousands of people maintain their consistency? 100%. Could it work like that for you? Yes. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. Same thing with Salty. Salty as an electrolyte is delicious. It's fantastic. I stand by it. I love the grape. I have the grape sitting right here. It's open. I use it. I have like 3 bags downstairs. This is a company that I utilize, a company that I love. But if you ask me, is that the end-all be-all? Should I use Salty? It's probably the best one that I've found on the market right now, but it doesn't mean you have to use it. You may not like it. So I always ask people, if you're going to buy things, if you were going to buy something, buy it from me. But you don't have to, because there are other people out there. Cindy is an affiliate. And there's other people that are affiliates too with Salty and Keto Chow. I have the Amazon affiliate. I have an affiliate with Pork and Good Pork Rinds. I have an affiliate with Fahad over at KG Foods, which makes the chocolate stuff. They make chocolate like energy pods and the jar of like chocolate, the Cocoa Zen stuff. But again, is that for everybody? Absolutely not. I put things out there that if you want to help me and help this channel, it's there. But I'm never going to come to you guys and go, if you don't buy this, you're going to fail, because that's not what this is about. Even if I was selling meat, even if for some reason I had a big enough following to say have like one of the frozen meat people that have like the grass-fed, grass-finished like butcher box or whatever. If I had them support me, I would say, sure. If you have the money and you want the simplicity Go for it. But I don't have the money to shop Butcher Box. They're like, we'll send you 2 pounds of burger a month. Like, ooh, that's 2 meals, maybe. Some days it might be 1 meal. So I just look at things like that. Like, I'm not the best salesman because I'm not going to lie. I'm going to offer things that I use. I'm not even going to really tell you about things that I don't use because why? I mean, it's whatever it is, right? And that's okay. That's whatever it is. But I'm always going to be as honest as I can with you guys because you guys are my community. You guys are family. But I do offer up KetoSimple.shop. I have t-shirts and all the things. Are they expensive? Yes. They are expensive. Do I promote them often? No, because they are expensive. But it's the best way that I have to have merch out there right now because I don't have time to print my own shirts. I don't have time or the resources to buy shirts in bulk and have them ready for people. I would love to do that, but I don't have the time, the patience for it or whatever, right? And I mean, right now, I don't make all that much as far as all this is concerned. I can tell you right now, I don't make that much money. Like, and I won't, and the super chats and all the membership things that I got today won't update till later this week. But so far in the last 28 days, I've made $60.99. It says $59 less than usual, but it is what it is. My biggest day was Sunday, December 7th. I made $25.50. Most days are 47 cents, $1.78, 46, 2.23, 44, 51, $2.59, $3.61. So, I mean, realistically, there's not a lot of money coming in YouTube. Is there a possibility to make money? Yes. If I had 10,000 plus subscribers, then I could do sponsored content, but I'd be very choosy on which content I was sponsored by. And I've been very honest about like the idea, like it'd be hard pressed for me to turn down being sponsored by someone like Element if they wanted to sponsor me because they pay so well. I mean, it would be better for me like if Salty were sponsoring companies, channels like Element did, but they don't. And that's okay. They're not as big as Element, and that's fine. But I'm always going to be transparent as yeah, and Rick is 100% correct. There's not a lot of money in YouTube and almost zero for most. If you are making, let's see, what percentage of let's look at, I basically ask, let's see. It says, yes, many monetized YouTubers make less than $100 a month, especially those with consistent views. Let's see. AdSense, it varies wildly. Let's see. New channels with 1,000 subscribers might see $30 to $300, while niche like finance or tech earn more. I once heard that when I first got monetized, if you made $50 a month, you were in the top 0.27% of YouTube at $50 a month. And even that, they didn't even cash you out every month. You didn't even get a paycheck every month. You know? It definitely doesn't pay for the hours that go into making YouTube content. Like if I record a video, like when and a lot of the wonderful people here that make videos, if you put any time, any effort into editing your videos, you have to record the video, and then you have to edit the video, then upload the video and do all the things and then promote it the best way you can. You're not going to ever make your money back. And that's okay. We do this as a labor of love. That doesn't mean we don't want to get paid. Because being paid keeps this channel afloat. It really does. Like I said, it takes me about $200 a month from everything combined to keep the channel running. Let's see, Bride's Biscuit here says monetization on YouTube apparently favors those who play. I mean, realistically, I follow a lot of creators who help support other creators as far as how to be monetized. Because as a YouTuber, if you are only looking at AdSense, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Whether you're not putting out monetized content, you're not... I mean, and all the money that I make on YouTube is not, if we took away anything that was not AdSense, I'd be making pennies. Most of the money that I get comes directly from you who watch my content and do super chats and do memberships. 90% of my income comes from the memberships and you, those who really, truly enjoy my content. But, you know, it says, while not direct payment, 1,000 subscribers can get consistent monthly earnings of about $50 to $100. But there's so much more money out there for people with affiliate marketing, sponsorships, and all the things that people get upset about. People, I'm tired. Like I've seen so many people say they're tired of seeing the channels they like with the Element sponsorship. But I bet like those people are the people that get the Element sponsorships are doing it because they pay well. And it takes time to put all these videos, especially you see a channel that puts out 3 recipe videos a week. That isn't a crazy, insane amount of work. You've got something like, especially like for the Keto Twins or the work that like someone like Steve from Serious Keto puts into his channel. Look at the work that Chris and Ash put into just Chris's channel alone. Not only his channel and her channel, they're touring. He's putting together a cookbook. They're putting together crazy stuff. They're working themselves to the bone. If they're making a couple bucks an hour, I'd be surprised. But I mean, again, this is not all about, it's not all about the monetization. It's not about the money, but without the money, a lot of us can't do it. Like, I mean, realistically, I mean, I'm in a very special category where my wife makes decent money. Is it enough? Sometimes no. But I'm in a situation where I'm going to be able to be home and help take care of our granddaughter so she doesn't have to go to daycare. I'm trying to build a business of my own, trying to be a health coach. And then from what I'm learning as being a health coach from the classes is you may only have one client for a long time because you had to learn to take care of that one client before you can take on multiples. And then there's only so much time and there's only so many hours in the day, so many hours in a month where you can take care of individual clients that you should start looking at doing group sessions. Doing groups of 5 or 10 at a time. So for that hour, you're talking to 10 people instead of 1. So it's going to be difficult to grow that as well, but I'm here for it. My goal is to help as many people as I can here on YouTube, in the real world, wherever I can. So that's just my thing, like Terry says, I'm not saying you're buying me a coffee. If you go into ketosimple.shop, you'll find it. I don't know how far down it is. I have to look and see. Let me see. Let me look and see here. Well, buy me a coffee is way low down. I'll move it up. I moved it up. So it's down there underneath like Amazon store, Amazon page. Because I would much rather people support me by getting things they were going to buy anyway. That's why I pushed to Amazon so much, even though I don't get a lot out of it. But I mean, if you're somebody who's going to be buying Amazon stuff anyway, if you click on my link and buy it, then I get 10 cents here, 20 cents there. My buddy Jeremiah has been trying that. It's just one of those things. Like, I think the more you use it, the more singular person uses it, the less money I get. I don't know. But yeah, that's how I look at it. But yeah, I do have a buy me a coffee in there. It's under Keto Chow right now. But it's all there. But I appreciate you guys asking about that. See, look, Rick is back. I've been going so long that even Rick is back. Terry says it happened on some Collective Soul yesterday. I forgot how much I liked them. Yeah, God Forbid's one of those bands that I got to know, kind of. We got to see them a bunch back in the day, like on the Determination cycle, as long as that was, going into the like the Better Days albums and all that stuff, where they started doing clean singing and stuff. But I still prefer Determination. It's still my favorite record. Let me look at my main YouTube page, because I think with my YouTube page, everything's under my ketosimple.shop. That's how I try to link everything into one spot, so you don't have to go to a whole bunch of places and look for all these links. So if you go to my main page, I'll even bring it up here. Trying to figure out what I want to do here. How do I figure this out? There we go. So if you go, and I'm not hiding anything. This is my analytics here. You can, I don't know if it'll show this to everything, but right here is the ketosimple.shop link. You can't see that, but it's right. I wish it would show that. I don't know why it won't. Let's see. Does that show? There we go. You can see it right here. You can't see my mouse, but it's right here. Ketosimple.shop and 5 more links. become a member, buy a shirt, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the normal things. Support by shopping. That's the number one link, because that's where you're going to find just about everything. But I'm at 908,000 total channel views, which is pretty amazing, which means I'm getting close to 1 million views. Woo! Last 30 days, 18. And only 9 videos. I've got 885 videos total. That's what it says lifetime. There's a 903 up here. There's a bunch of videos that are private, I guess, but I'm not sure why there's 900 there and 885 there. But whatever. But yeah, that's KetoSimple.shop right there. If you go to my homepage, KetoSimple.shop is the best place to go for just about everything else. Anything and everything with me. So, yeah. I think I saw... No, I didn't see Collective Soul. I was at Rib Fest one year, and I saw 7 Mary 3. Reese has got to go. Have a terrific day. You're probably not hearing this, but we love you. Let me try to get through this here. Jerry says, I understand what you're trying to do, Terry, as I do 100% exactly the same thoughts as you. And more often than not, I will drop a check or two to the creator directly. If you know, you know. And Biscuit says, for those that can support the community, I think that's great. Nothing, however, is more expensive to me than sickness. I'm not down with the sickness. I don't like Disturbed either. Oh, my goodness gracious, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Sharon's gone back to work. I take too long. Yeah, Cindy says, same, Dustin, about memberships and super chats. I mean, I don't know. I had to go into my analytics and break down how much I make with AdSense. It's probably very little. But, and I don't ever want this to sound like I'm whining or asking or begging, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I just try to be transparent, because there's a lot of people out there who think if you're on YouTube that you're making all this money, and it's just not the case. Some YouTubers make money, like Dr. Berry. He makes a killing on YouTube. He just does. And that's okay. He's providing a valuable service that thousands and thousands and thousands of people are willing to pay him for. He makes at least $500 or $600 every live he does. He does what, 4 lives a month? So he's probably making at least $2,000 a month on super chats in just his lives. Then there's the AdSense. But I mean, even there's probably been times where I've seen him get 500 to 1,000. He gets so many super chats, people get mad that he doesn't get to all the super chats in a live. And I'm like, it's 10 minutes to go, and there's 15 super chats ahead of you, and you still put a super chat in. You're probably not getting yours read. So, you know. Editing? What exactly does he mean by editing? Well, what I mean by that is you edit. I mean, when I make these, I don't edit these videos. I edit my shorts. I edit my long form content. I would like to start vlogging, maybe, especially now, like with kind of the passing of of Adam the Woo and that kind of thing, and maybe as somewhat of a tribute to him, like, I'm never gonna again hear that, a new video saying, today's adventure begins. And he's like, join me, shall you? And then the vlog is over. Just little things like that. And he brought me away to see things that I'm not probably ever gonna see. Like he just went to, Paris, Disneyland Paris. I don't know if I'll ever see that. I'd like to. We want to take our granddaughter to Disney or to Paris, but will we make it to Disneyland? I don't know. I would like to. I'd like to be able to build that in a day to go to Disneyland Paris, but no one knows. Yeah. Yes, Chris is going live this Tuesday. Be sure to check him out. We love Chris, Mel, Ash. We love them. But they're so very busy right now. I barely even get a chance to talk to them very much. Victor, too, they've been busy. I know that he and his wife have a side business. They do candles and all that stuff around this time of year. Then he's going to get back into power washing and all that stuff. They've got so much going on. I was hoping to get a last Keto Crusade in for 2025, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. What link doesn't work? Which link doesn't work, Terry? Let me know. Says, yeah, well, because I'm paying for the website that I'm using, ketosimple.shop, is http / and not S, so it doesn't have the S for secure. I don't know how to pay for that. So, yeah, it just goes to my link tree. I can put the link tree in here as well, if you guys would like that. Because there's my link tree there. Because all that the ketosimple.shop does is just a way to get to the link tree without having to type a bunch of stuff. Biscuit says, I reached my highest point in this life, Dustin, by hitting absolute bottom. The Lord truly provides everything. I can't stress that truth enough. Perspective gained by looking inward is beyond measure. 100%. Sean says, I didn't see you have a buy coffee link. I was going to give you your Christmas present that way, but I think, Sean, didn't you send me buy me a coffees before? Yeah. I need to set up a Nightbot so I can put my links in there. People can link directly out of that. Jerry says, I old school mailed his check. Take it easy, Karen. And they're leaving. Thank you for reposting the stream. Woo, over on X. Thank you so much. Yeah, the song Cumbersome, yeah. Happy male, not male, LOL. One will never know with you, Jerry. Oh, my goodness. Terry, right? I was joking with somebody. I was like, my wife doesn't mind all the women that are in this, all the women that follow me, because I think they're all in their 50s. but most are in their 60s. Like, she's like, fine with me. I don't know who the youngest. I think maybe Alexi might be the youngest one that comes in my channel, the youngest female anyway. I stepped away briefly, come back to read that Jerry ordered a Happy Meal. You know, I mean, pretty nice. Rick is asking, Adam LeWoo was gone. Yeah, Adam LeWoo passed away, unfortunately, on the 22nd. He was 51 years old. I didn't know you knew who he was, Rick. Yeah, but Adam LeWoo passed away. He passed away in his sleep on the 22nd. He came back, made a video of him with the Grinch going around Celebration, Florida. That was the Saturday, and I think he died. He put it up on the Sunday, and then we never saw Sunday's vlog. He passed away. So. Whew. Pharaoh Grandma says, if I went to France, Disneyland would not make my itinerary. The thing is we're Disney people. We love Disney. And I imagine that probably going to France might be a one-time thing, so we'd have to make it work. I know it's not important to everybody, but it's important to us. Sean, I sent buy me a... Yeah, because I remember you were sending to me before I ever was getting any kind of notifications that people were sending them to me. I had set it up, mentioned it, and then never saw an email. Hey, you got to buy me a coffee. No one never got a notification that people were buying them. And you're like, I sent you, and I had like $50 in there. And I was like totally surprised. There was like $50 in there. And Terry's asking where's Shander. She's at work. She works. She's been this because of the new granddaughter. She hasn't worked it very much this week and last week, but she'll be back to her normal schedule coming up soon. Usually works Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. She has to work. Her normal schedule is Saturday, Sunday, but her boss let her have PTO for yesterday because they weren't going to need her, I guess. So yeah. Yeah, Shander is willing to leave me in a den of cougars. Doubt she has anything to worry about. Oh. Yeah, Adam used to tour abandoned places. I don't think he had a heart attack. He had just got back from touring Europe. He had been all around Europe. He had been to like Spain, I think. And he had been to France and did Disneyland Paris. So I think he came back and he probably had a blood clot that kind of caused some kind of embolism or something like that when you travel a lot. Yeah. Maritza, I buy the variety pack of salty and was so sad that I didn't get the grape flavor. I'm so sorry about that too, dear. I wish they would just everybody buy the grape. Everybody stop what you're doing and go buy grape salty because I want it to last. I want it to be around. I want them to keep making it. But Adam's passing, I didn't know him, but I've been watching him. I didn't watch him from the beginning. I hadn't watched him for 16 years or anything like that. But you've stumbled across a channel of somebody just going out and living life. And I know that I've had some people say he wasn't always not the nicest person at the parks or whatever. But I've not seen anybody really say anything truly bad about him. And it's the internet. And the internet typically talks bad about everybody. And so many people have made videos about him. And, you know, both like all over the coast, like people in California, Florida, people who knew him, people who loved him. And I was like, even if you didn't ever meet him in person, knowing somebody and watching them on YouTube it hits home because as a YouTuber, you want to make that connection with people. You want that connection with the people who come and watch you day in and day out or week in and week out, whatever the case is. You put a video out, you want them to get something out of it. You want them to feel a connection with you because that's really what we're doing here, to build a connection. And so people don't feel alone, because loneliness is probably one of the biggest things out there that kills people. And yeah, so rest in peace to Adam. Send love, thoughts, prayers to all of his friends, his family. He's survived by his parents. He was 51. His parents are still around. I think they'll be okay. He had a pretty decent sized net worth. He had invested his money very wisely, lived very frugally. Starting out living in a van. He had I know he was a DVC member, had a lot of DVC points, so those get handed down to your family or whatever. You can sell them or whatever you want to do with them. So they're not going to be hurting by obviously lost, they're going to hurt, but not financially. But if you can, go by his channel. Go by one of his friends' channels, and if you had anything, if he meant anything to you, let them know. And hug your loved ones tight, especially this time of year. It seems like this time of year, reach out to the people you haven't heard from in a while. Make sure the people in your life and your real life know that you care. Make sure the people that you may not have seen here in a while, like if you haven't seen somebody in the chat in a while, reach out to them. Like I'd been asking about Steph and Exposing Darkness. She commented on one of my videos the other day, so I know she's okay. But, we just make sure that we are remembering our friends, our family, and this time, because so many of us are alone. So many of us don't have the family and the goings on that a lot of us do. And this time of year is a big struggle for a lot of people. So we got to make sure that we are showing love and kindness and compassion to all those in our lives. And I think that's a good place to stop today. Again, truly appreciate each and every one of you more than I could ever say. Thank you all so much for the super chats. Thank you all so much for everything. Thank you. We're here. We're not quitting. And 2026 is going to be progress over perfection. I'm going to try to stay away from the scale. Not going to let that bother me. I want you to reflect as well on a year. How do you think 2025 was for you? Let's make plans to move forward. Let's not punish ourselves for mistakes, because we have to give ourselves grace. We have to give each other grace. We have to work together to be successful. This is what this community is about. Make sure you're getting enough rest. Make sure, again, you're giving yourself all the grace you deserve. Focus on intentional planning, because being intentional is probably one of the biggest ways to stay successful that I've found out of everything. Being intentional, getting up and being intentional, and not just being laissez-faire about everything, right? We love you. Shannon and I both love you from the bottom of our hearts. We appreciate you. And we're going to walk into 2026 together. Steady, grounded, strong, together as a community. Because without you, I can't be successful. And I just want you to know that we care. And that everything you donate to us, every super chat, every membership, everything you buy from any one of our links doesn't go unnoticed. We truly, truly care about each and every one of you. And I just want you to reflect on a wonderful year, 2025. Reflect on what 2026 is going to hold for each and every one of us. We're going to make amazing progress this year. We're going to help as many people as we can. And I love you. And I guess the only thing now is to go to credits.